Alright, I think we're live. Let's go, boys. Just gonna quickly post to my Discord server that I'm live. So today's stream was gonna be real long, and then I took a nap, and now it's 10 p.m. So it might not be super duper long, just a couple hours. Instead, we're gonna do our backup plan, which is just as exciting. And the backup plan for today was to do a tier list where we are going to be ranking in tiers, not a ranking, 1 through 400, but a tier list where we take all 400 Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield and put them in order from S to F tier in regards to their shiny variants. So I'm going to take all the shiny Pokemon and put them in a tier list, and that's our stream for the day. And I'm actually going to use this tier list in the future to kind of determine what Pokemon I want to shiny hunt, because I'm going to start shiny hunting now that I've fully 100% Pokemon Sword and I've fully beaten the game. And it's kind of exciting. I mean, we've completed the game, and we could buy the DLC. I guess that could be our next step, but I also don't want to buy DLC. I'm very stingy and frugal with my money. So instead, I think our next step and the next direction we should head in our Pokemon content creation is shiny hunting. And I wanna catch more shinies, and I wanna collect more shinies. So in order to kind of figure out which shinies we should catch and which shinies would be best to add to our collection, after we do this tier list, I'll have a nice kind of set of data here. We'll have really good data on what Pokemon we want to hunt and what Pokemon we never will hunt. So, for example, I know there's. I'll say this. I know there are other Pokemon streamers out there, and there are other PokeTubers who have hunted for every single shiny Pokemon, and they have shiny living decks. Sorry, I worded that poorly. They have shiny living dexes. I'm not going to be doing that. I will not hunt for every single shiny Pokemon. If there is a Pokemon in the F and E tier, I will probably never shiny hunt for it. I probably won't even shiny hunt for things in the D and C tier. Like I said, we're going to use this tier list as a means of data and as a means of kind of almost looking back. So when I want to start shiny hunting, I can look back at this and see which Pokemon we should shiny hunt today, and in future streams, which Pokemon I want to shiny hunt in those future streams. Anyways, I'm starting to repeat myself, and I'm starting to become a little redundant in my wording here. So I'm gonna move on, and we're gonna start this tier list. And I actually have saved a PNG image of all 400 Pokemon in Sword and Shield. So what we're gonna do is one by one, we're gonna drag it over into Photoshop, starting with number one Grookey. And I'm also gonna pull up on my second monitor an image of what Grookey looks like normally, so I can compare and contrast. And that'll kind of help me determine how much I like the shiny. I think I'm going to use three main things to decide what tier I want to put each shiny in. The first criteria, if you will, is how much I like the Pokemon. Because, for example, if I don't like the Pokemon, I don't care how good the shiny is. If I don't like the Pokemon, I'm not going to put it in a high tier. Second thing is, and I think the most important thing for me, is how different it looks compared to its normal color. So my least favorite thing, it's my biggest pet peeve, is when a Pokemon looks the same as their shiny. The shiny just doesn't change anything at all. That's an immediate F tier for me. When the shiny is almost exactly the same as the normal color of the normal Pokemon. And I think the third thing that will determine what tier a shiny Pokemon gets placed in is whether or not I like the colors of the shiny. So for example, I'm not a big fan of like the colors blue, yellow, and brown. Those three colors don't really interest me too much. So if a Pokemon shiny is really blue or really yellow, I don't know if I'm gonna be too kind towards that shiny. So those three pieces of uh, judgment will be placed upon each shiny and determine what tier it goes into. How much I like the Pokemon, how much I like the colors, and how different it is compared to the normal colors of the Pokemon. So for Grookey, it's not that different, but I do like the Pokemon. And I do like the colors of its shiny. So, because I like the Pokemon and because I like the colors of its shiny, I'll give it an okay ranking. So we'll drag it over here and... Oh, it's so big. Hold up. It's kind of annoying. I don't want to have to shrink it down every time I move it over. What if we just drag it and drop it originally? Oh, that's much better. Much better. Okay, so Grookey, I think I'm going to put him in okay. Grookey's going to go in okay for now. Because again, I like Grookey. I like his shiny colors, but he also looks so similar to default Grookey that, you know, I'm not gonna oogle over his shiny. Also, because there's 400 Pokemon, we are gonna pick up the pace a little bit with certain ones. So, for example, his evolutions, kind of the same thing. His evolutions are looking kind of the same. So, Thwackey, for example, kind of in the same boat. So Thwackey's gonna go in C tier, and Riaboom. You know, Riaboom looks a little bit better, and his colors are a little bit more different. So maybe Riaboom gets the bump up to B tier. He'll be in B tier. Okay. We now move on to the next starter, which is Scorbunny. Once again, not too different, which is disappointing. Like, Scorbunny looks so similar to its original colors. And honestly, if we're being real honest here, I mean, I think it looks worse than its original colors. I like Scorbunny's original colors more. So this is one where I would be comfortable putting Scorbunny down to like D tier for its shiny. Sadly. I like Scorbunny, but that's a bummer. Raboot, on the other hand. Raboot's looking clean. Raboot, how do we go from Scorbunny being so bad, but Raboot being so good? Raboot looks clean. Raboot looks clean. I like this one. I'm not, you know, again, not perfect, but this is clean. I mean, I've always been a fan of Raboot because he's got that like emo kind of edgy teen vibes, which I can relate to as an as an edgy emo teen growing up. But I'm gonna throw Raboot in A tier just because I like it. I like it a lot. I like the way he's looking. And I wonder if Cinderace, I'm gonna throw Cinderace up here. Cinderace kind of looking the same, and I like it. Cinderace, it's kind of got the same vibes. And I like these more than their original colors, which is why I'm putting, I think, Cinderace in A tier as well. I like Cinderace more than his original colors. So he's gonna go in A tier for me. One moment, just text my girlfriend back. Okay. Okay. Also, if this stream goes well and we have fun with it, I might actually upload it to my VOD channel. I've been trying to upload more streams to my VOD channel lately. Anyways, we move on to Sobble. Now, Sobble here, not too different than his original colors. The little fin on the top of his head is pink instead of yellow, but otherwise, he's kind of the same colors. I like him more than his original colors. So maybe we put him in B tier because I love Sobble. He's a cutie. I think Sobble's great. So I'll give him B tier. And I know that seems generous because he's so similar to his original colors. And I'm being generous because I don't like Sobble's evolutions. So I'm telling you right now, Sobble's evolutions are going to get a very critical review from me. For example, this guy probably going to go in like C tier. He's going to go C tier for me. And Inteleon, he gonna go in. Inteleon's gonna go in E tier. Inteleon's going E tier, and you might be wondering why that's so harsh. His colors aren't that bad. It's cause I hate Inteleon. He looks creepy. He looks like the Slender Man. I don't like him. So Inteleon's E tier. And that's why I put Sobble so high up in B tier. It's because I knew I was gonna be so harsh on the rest of his evolution line, so I wanted to be nice to Sobble. Moving on to Blipbug, I'm gonna be honest, Blipbug's probably gonna be our first F tier, because his shiny is almost the same as his regular colors. I also think Blipbug is kind of disappointing as a Pokemon in general. I don't find his art to be that entertaining or cute. The only thing that changes in Blipbug is this little section of his body right here that's light purple is yellow. And his bow tie right here is supposed to be yellow. Otherwise, Blipbug is exactly the same. And that's not enough. Like, nothing about him has changed in his shiny, which is extremely disappointing. His shiny is extremely disappointing. Blipbug as a Pokemon is extremely disappointing. And because of that, we have our first F tier. Simply. His evolution, however, Dollar, has a big difference. It changes from all yellow to its shell is now purple. It went from yellow to purple. However, it looks worse, in my opinion. I think it looks worse. Because it went from all yellow to yellow and purple, like a yellow underbelly and a purple shell. I don't know. I know maybe I should be showing the reference images of what the non-shinies look like and the shinies look like, but if you're watching the stream, I kind of expect you to be at least somewhat of a Pokemon fan, and I expect you to maybe know what the regular Pokemon look like. And also, I didn't want to have to save 800 images. It already took me over an hour to save 400 images on my computer, so I didn't want to have to save 800 images on my computer to have both the shinies and non-shinies. That would have taken too long. So we'll see how I feel about this one. I'm not a huge fan of Dottler, which already kind of makes me want to put him down here. I kind of want to put him in E tier, but I feel like that's maybe too harsh. I'll put him in D tier, because I literally used the word worse when describing this shiny. So even though I want to put him in E tier, I admit maybe that's too harsh. I used the word worse, so I'll put him in the worst tier. It's not bad, it's just worse. Alright, then we move on to Orbeetle. Orbeetle, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like the changes it was made. It's turned from a red ladybug into a purple ladybug. I like it. I like it. I think it's a cool change, and I think it has progressed this evolution line from the first evolution, which was F tier, to this evolution, which I think we can solidly put in A tier. I think we can solidly put Orbeetle in A tier. Oh, I accidentally closed out of my, give me one moment. I stupidly closed out of my, freaking, I can't even think of the freaking word. My file. Anyways, we move on to Caterpie. Caterpie shiny is wildly different than normal Caterpie. But at the same time, I don't know if I like it better. I basically kind of am using C tier as a middle ground for like things that are the same. Like if I like something the same as their normal default colors, and I think Caterpie is a great example of that, where Caterpie shiny, I like it the same as Caterpie's normal colors. So Caterpie is a prime C tier example. It's just the same. It's just the same. Metapod, on the other hand, I think I like this a little bit more than its normal colors. It almost looks like a a cicada shell that has been hatched from and is now starting to die. You know what I mean? Have you ever, I don't know if viewers of this stream have seen cicada shells after they have already been emerged from. They've already, you know, I'm trying to think of different words, but I can't. Apologies. But like, have you ever played with an empty cicada shell? It's so much fun. I sound like a freak right now, but I don't care. But like, it's cool. And they're like brown and starting to kind of like decay. I sound like a freak right now, but hey, at least I had a childhood where I played outside, okay? My point is, Metapod has that vibe, and his shiny plays on that vibe, which is cool. Hey, what's up, Jack? I'm well, brother. And then we move on to Butterfree, whose shiny is also just gorgeous. And what I love so much about Butterfree shiny is it kind of reminds me of the female Butterfree from the episode Bye Bye Butterfree. So, for that reason, Butterfree shiny is going to be our first S tier shiny in this tier list. Hands down. I love Butterfree shiny. I think it's great. I'm feeling good about that one. Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's move on to Grubbin, whose shiny I actually kind of like, but I don't like Grubbin, which leaves me in a weird spot. Because I said at the beginning of the stream, my criteria for grading these shinies was how different they look from the normal Pokemon. Grubbin looks very different from it. This, like, Grubbin shiny looks very different from normal Grubbin. How cool the shiny colors are. I really like these shiny colors. And then the third thing was how much I like the Pokemon. And this is the caveat. I don't really like Grubbin. I don't really like Grubbin at all. So that puts me in a weird spot. And I think I'm just going to put it at like C tier because I don't like Grubbin at all. But the way I'll make it up to Grubbin is in its next evolution, Chargebug. Chargebug, we gonna bump up because I think its shiny is so cool. Chargebug's normal colors are green, and it gives it a vibe of like a fully charged battery. And Chargebug's shiny is red, which gives it the vibe of a dead battery, like a battery whose power has been depleted, which I think is really cool, and I'm gonna put it in A tier because I think it's cool. So, to make up for Grubbin kind of getting snuffed and snubbed, Chargebug, its evolution, will get promoted a little higher. It'll get bumped up. The Butterfree in the show is all pink. I know the Butterfree in the show is all pink, but this Butterfree has some pink, okay? It's close enough in my heart, right? Close enough. In my heart, it's close enough. And then the final evolution of Grubbin is Vikavolt, who, I'll be honest, I'm kind of torn. Similar to Grubbin. It's kind of similar to Grubbin. Like, I don't know how I feel about this shiny. It leaves me confused. The colors are different. It's a cool Pokemon. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like this. So, I really don't know. I think the green and the gray, like, just, which is so weird. I, I'm gonna come across as a hypocrite because I love green and gray as a color combo. But, like, this green and gray, you know what? I don't want to come across as a hypocrite. I'll put it in B tier. But it's weird. That's all I'm gonna say. There were other pink Pokemon in the show. They turned pink from eating a berry, I think. I'm rewatching through the show right now with my girlfriend, so I can't wait to like see some of the different variants. Also, I'll have to like pay attention to that. That's kind of fun, a fun fact. Anyways, we move on to Hoot Hoot. Hoot Hoot is one of our first examples of my personal bias coming into play because I think it's worse. I know it's different. I know it meets the criteria of being different than its normal colors, but I don't like the color yellow, and therefore I'm gonna put it in just D tier because I really don't like the color yellow. So yeah, it's gonna go in D tier for me. And Noctowl, kind of in the same boat. Don't like the color yellow, so I think its shiny is just kind of worse. Sadly, any Pokemon that's yellow or blue is gonna have a rough day today. Those two colors, not a huge fan of. Rookity, in a similar boat as those two. But Rookity, I'm actually gonna put in C tier because it's a little bit of a lighter yellow. It kind of has a almost a cream color, and that cream color works well with the black and white on it. So Rookity, I'll put that in C tier. And Rookity's evolution line, as we're gonna see here, only gets better. And spoiler alert, we're gonna have our next S tier coming up soon. Ooh, I accidentally put Tranquil up there before I showed it off in the big screen. So Tranquil, it goes all green, which is kind of odd considering. Oh, sorry, I don't. Why did I skip ahead to Tranquil? I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. I picked up the wrong Pokemon next. I'm jumping ahead. Oh, don't mind me. Corvisquire. Corvisquire, kind of in a similar boat to Rookity. But in this instance, I think Corvisquire is better than his original colors. I like it a lot. So for that reason, I'm actually bumping Corvisquire up to the B tier compared to Rookity, who is in the C tier. And here is where we get our spoiler alert. Corbinite, his shiny, in my opinion, is so cool, bro. So cool. I love it. I love the metallic shine that it has and the metallic colors that it displays. I think it works better than the purple colors that his normal, Pokemon resembles and has. And I I can't even put it into words how much I love Corviknight. And like I said, spoiler alert earlier, this is our second S tier. Corviknight is our second S tier. So, we move on to Skwovet, who he's grown on me a little bit. He's grown on me a little bit. I first played through Sword and Shield and thought that I don't know. I thought that the squirrel Pokemon was kind of stupid, kind of ugly. But he's grown on me a little bit, and I also like that his shiny's pink. I think that makes him a bit more cute. So, I think that's enough to give him a B tier rating. I think that's enough to give him a B tier rating. It looks like he has more armor on. I agree. I agree. That's why I like Corviknight shiny so much. However, just because I like Skwovet so much does not mean my opinion of Greedent has changed. I think Greedent is still ugly, and I still dislike him greatly. However, his shiny is good. So for that reason, I'll give him D tier to be nice because I like his shiny, but I dislike him. To be nice, I'll give him D tier. I like his shiny, but I dislike him. So we'll meet those two statements in the middle. We'll compromise those two statements and give him D tier. Next up, Pidove. Pidove literally only gets worse, in my opinion. Only gets worse. He goes from black and white to blue. Like, what? Black, one of my favorite colors, to blue, one of my least favorite colors. He's also a pigeon, which is a Pokemon that I hate. The only thing that saves Pidove from going into the F tier for me is the fact that he changes colors. I'm saving the F tier for Pokemon that like don't change colors because I think that's stupid and a waste of a shiny. Like I think that's Game Freak being lazy and dumb. Tranquil, on the other hand, which I low-key spoiled early, accidentally, goes from black and white to green, which is so weird that Pidove goes from black and white to blue, but Tranquil goes to green. I can't explain it. I'm gonna put him in C tier. I would like this one a lot more if it made sense, because I like the color green. So you'd think I would like Tranquil. But I actually don't really like Tranquil, first off. And secondly, it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, Pidove is blue and then Tranquil's green. It feels like they didn't think any of this out. And that gets proved further when Unpheasant gets changed to like pink and brown. Like none of this is thought out properly. I swear. It's like this evolution line, they just wanted to be random with the shinies. So Unpheasant's going into the D tier because I think it's worse. And we move on. Oh, we have our next S tier, boys. Can you guess what it is? It's a shiny that I have. It's a shiny that I own. And it's your boy, Nickit. I love him. He's adorable and he's great. I think he's a beautiful boy. Nickit is an S tier. And that's why I own him. I own him for a reason. Thievul, on the other hand, he would be an S tier if he didn't look like a creepy predator. His shiny colors are S tier, but because Thievul looks like a creepy predator, child molester, I'm gonna put him at like B tier because as a Pokemon, he's like E tier, but his shinies are S tier. His shiny colors are S tier, but as a Pokemon, he's B tier, so it balances out to B tier. Oh, here's where I'm gonna get some hate. Everyone in the Pokemon community loves Zig Zagoon, but I'm not a huge fan of it because I don't like red and blue as a color combo. Like red and blue together to me is not a good color combo. And it only gets worse down the line. So I'll show you what I mean in a sec. It only gets worse as it goes. So Zig Zagoon is not that bad. I'll put him in A tier. I think he looks good. Zig Zagoon looks good. I'm gonna get so much crap from the Pokemon community with this. Zig Zagoon looks good, but then like Lanoon starts to get some more blue on him. Starts to get some more blue on him, and it starts to look worse in my opinion because I don't like red and blue together. So Lanoon, that's where it goes to like down to C tier in my opinion. It's like C tier. And then we go up to Obstagoon, and it's completely like 50-50. 50% blue, 50% red, and I hate that. I really do. I hate mixing blue and red together as a color combo. And I know the Pokemon community is going to disagree with me, and I know the Pokemon community loves the shiny, but I don't. I really don't. And for that reason, this is like an E tier for me. I am going to be lynched. Oops. However, this is one that I will agree with the Pokemon community. The Pokemon community loves Wooloo Shiny. Wooloo Shiny is basically inverted colors. It takes every color on Wooloo that's white and turns it black, and takes every color on Wooloo that's black and makes it white. I love that. I think it's adorable, and for that reason, I think Wooloo is another S tier. I think Wooloo is a nice S tier boy. And then Dubwool would be an S tier because it's the same thing. Just inverted the colors. Every black is white and every white is black. But I don't like Dubwool as a Pokemon that much. I think he loses the cute appeal of Lulu. So while I like double shiny, I don't like double that much. So double kind of goes down to A tier for me. Shiny, great, but Pokemon, I don't care about. So that's where we are with that. Ooh, I think we have another S tier. I think we got another S tier, boys. Maybe I'm being too generous with my S tiers, but look at him. Lotad's beautiful. Can you blame me? Lotad is absolutely beautiful. And while I don't like the color blue, that's more of a, what would you call that? Kind of a cyan paired with the, purplish, chartreuse. I don't know, I'm just making it up as I go. But Lotad's gorgeous. And his shiny is lovely. So I'm putting him in S tier. Lumbre, on the other hand, this is one I'm torn on. Because it's wildly different. But I don't know if I like it more or not than original Lotad. I think I do like it more, but not by much. You know what I mean? Like Lumbre, I like it, but only by a little bit more. Like I think that's only a B tier, which is weird. Like I feel like I should like that more, but for some reason I don't. For some reason I don't, and for some reason I don't really like Ludicolo shiny that much. I actually think I like its regular colors more. I think its shiny is worse. I'll be honest. I think its shiny is worse. I don't know, man. That like cyan color does not match well with that weird orange color. That orange color kind of gives me like weird, excuse me for this disgusting language, but vomit vibes. It's like a weird vomit color. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know. That does not work well together for me. I'm putting it down there in E tier for that reason. Like that gives me bad feelings in my stomach. I don't like that. We move on to the one, the only, C dot. However, C dot doesn't change too much. His helmet becomes kind of more metallic, and the acorn part of C dot becomes more vibrant and more brown. But otherwise, he's the same color. Like, he's just brighter and more saturated. So, like, is it really? Like, part of me wants to be generous and put him in C tier because he's the same, but also he's pretty much the same. So I think I'm putting him in D tier. Honestly, I feel like even putting him in D tier is being generous because he just looks the same. He just looks the same. I'm putting him in E tier. I feel like I'd be generous putting him in D tier. And I don't care about C-Dot that much, so why would I be generous towards a Pokemon that I have no feelings towards? I have no positive feelings towards, at least. However, Nuzleaf, I do like a little bit. I like him a little bit. Not enough to, like, bump up to an S or an A tier. I don't even know if this is a B tier. But it's an improvement off C-Dot. Like, a surprise. That's a surprise for me. Nuzleaf is a pleasant surprise. Going from C-Dot, which was an E tier, and then saying Nuzleaf be, vibrant and orange, which he is not at all orange, for those of you unaware, in his normal colors, that's a surprise. So I'll put him in C tier. Shiftry. Oh, we gotta pick up this pace. We're half an hour into the stream and we're not even an eighth of the way done. Alright, I'll start picking up the pace for Pokemon I don't care about that much. Shiftry, his colors don't change too much, and I don't like Shiftry as a Pokemon. So we're gonna put him in E tier with C dot. They're in the same evolution line, so they can Like father, like son, go where they belong. Choodle. Choodle, here's where I'm putting him. I know everyone loves his colors. I think he looks beautiful. But I also hate Choodle and I hate his unibrow. So, he's going to go in C tier. However, his evolution is an S tier. Look at this gorgeous beast. Alright, his evolution's an S tier. And that'll hopefully make up for the fact that Choodle's in C tier. I know Choodle's shiny is amazing, but I hate Choodle. However, Dreadnought, his shiny is an S tier, hands down. That might be one of the first shinies we work towards. Purloin literally is the definition of like worst case scenario for my personal preferences, because it takes a purple Pokemon, one of my favorite colors, and turns it blue, one of my least favorite colors. So for that reason, it's another F tier for us, probably. It's a bummer. Unlucky for Purloin, I'm going to be honest. Meanwhile, its evolution goes from purple to red, which are two of my favorite colors. Purple's one of my favorite colors, and red's one of my favorite colors. So for that reason, I think I can bump its evolution up to, like, B tier. It goes from an F tier Pokemon up to a B tier Pokemon, which is kind of crazy. Unexpected, to say the least. But, hey. Only good thing. Yamper hurts me. Yamper hurts me because he looks so similar to his original Pokemon colors. Oh my god. Why do they have to do my boy like this? They made his shiny so terrible. And for that reason, I almost feel obligated to put him in F tier, but he's going to go in E tier because I love him as a Pokemon. He's a cute corgi boy, and the only thing saving him from going in the F tier is the fact that he's a cute corgi boy. Like, his shiny is so bad. He looks so similar to his regular colors. It's depressing. Nuzleaf has an orange mask now. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I don't know. Nuzleaf surprised me. I'll be honest. Bolthund, kind of in the same situation. The evolution of Yamper, kind of in the same situation. It disappoints me, and I don't really like it that much. So, you know what? I'll be even nicer to Yamper because I love him and he's a cute corgi. I'll put him in D tier. I don't want to be mean to him. I don't want to be mean to the cute corgi. I love him so much. I love him too much. Benelby, bro. Benelby, I actually adore this shiny. I think he looks dirty in his normal colors, which is kind of the point. He's supposed to look dirty. But his shiny removes all that. Removes all the dirt and the grime. So Benelby, kind of an underdog. Kind of an underdog story. He's going up to A tier for me. His evolution, however, even though the dirt gets removed, and even though they wash him up, they clean him up, I still find him ugly. I still think he's gross. And I still hate him. So, even though his shiny looks better, his Pokemon still looks terrible. And I still don't like him. So, for that reason, I'm going to put him in D tier. He would be like an E or an F tier because I hate his Pokemon so... Like, I hate this Pokemon so much, it would be an E or an F tier. But I must admit that the shiny looks better than the original color and the original presentation. So that bumps it up to D tier. Minccino. Minccino's our next Pokemon. It goes from gray to pink, which, you know, I think is an improvement. I think it's a good improvement. And like the word good, we'll put it in B tier, good. Then, oddly enough, Cinccino goes from gray to like yellowish, brownish tan, which is worse. It's worse. I'd even argue it's kind of bad. I don't know. I'm torn as to whether or not we should put it in here or here. I kind of want to put it in E tier. It's just bad. Like, it's not good. Bonsweet is another one that is almost exactly the same. The only thing they changed about Bonsweet's colors is the leaves on top went from green to purple. The rest of Bonsweet is exactly the same. It feels like a waste. It feels like a waste. For that reason, honestly, I'm going to put it in E tier. For a second, I was going to... No, actually, I'm going to put it in F tier. Here's why. Because its evolutions are better. So you can evolve Bonsweet to be better. But Bonsweet itself is so terrible. So it deserves to be an F tier. So, for example, its evolution, Steenie, is a little bit better. So, like, Steenie would be an E tier. Steenie's an E tier. But Bonsweet is definitely an F tier. And then Serena, who I'll give you a quick look of what Serena looks like as a shiny. That's actually okay. Serena's okay. I think it's worse, in my personal preference, but like it slowly gets better with each evolution. That's why I wanted Bonsweet in F tier. Just as an example. Oddish is going in F tier immediately. We don't even need to look at it. And it's a little bit of personal preference and personal experience. Oddish was the first shiny I ever caught. And in the older games, it was a little worse. I'll give you another look of it. In the older games, it was a little bit worse. In the newer games, he's a bit different now. Like, you can tell this is a shiny. But in the older games, he looked almost exactly the same. You almost couldn't tell it was a shiny. Other than, obviously, the sparkles that would fly out at the beginning of battle. So the fact that the first shiny I ever caught was so boring and so similar to its original colors made me so angry. Like, I hunted shinies for years and could never find any as a kid. And then when I finally found one, it was Oddish and it looked so dumb. I was so mad about it. So I still hate shiny Oddish to this day for that reason, and that's why he's an F tier. Yes, I admit I'm biased. I don't care. He's F tier. Gloom is very different than the original Gloom. And I think it's okay. I don't like it better. I don't like it worse. For that reason, it's going to go C tier. We don't have all the time in the world today, or else this stream would take hours. Like 6, 7, 8 hours. I feel like if I stared at Gloom shiny for 10 minutes, maybe I could develop a positive or negative opinion about it. But I don't want to stare at Gloom all day. So it's just going to go okay. I feel neutral about it. And I kind of feel the same about Vileplume. Like, actually, you know what? Vileplume, because I like Vileplume. I actually really like Vileplume. I used to have one in my party growing up in Fire Red. So because I have positive memories about Vileplume, I'm going to put it in the B tier. And Blossom looks wildly different than its original colors. So for the same reason, I think I'm going to put Blossom also in B tier. But yeah, Gloom, it just... I'd have to stare at that for like several minutes today to develop a positive or negative feeling. Instead, I just am neutral about it, so it's going to go in C tier. Moving on from Gloom. It's causing me too much mental stress. We move on to Budew, which is a hard F tier. They changed nothing about it except the little 3 leaves on its chest. It changed from green to purple. So similar to Bonsweet, where they did almost exactly the same thing, and we made Bonsweet F tier. It's only fair to make Budew F tier. However, Budew's evolution pulls an entire 180, an entire about face. Budew, F tier. Its evolution, Roselia, in my heart, is an S tier. Because while they don't change a lot about Roselia, its body is still green. They changed the red rose to purple, one of my favorite colors, and the blue rose to black, one of my favorite colors. And I think that is so cool. Call me weird, call me corny, call me a loser. I don't care what you call me. I think Roselia has one of the coolest shinies, hands down, in this game. And I've said it a couple times on stream, but I think Roselia is one of the first shinies we're going to hunt when we start shiny hunting. So for that reason, Roselia is an S tier. And similarly, its evolution, Roserade, is also an S tier in my heart because the flowers are still pretty much the same color, except the purple flowers kind of start turning a little bit more pink, but that's fine. Still looks great. Still an S tier. Still an S tier. Alright, we move to Wingle, which is one I really am torn about because nothing about Wingle changes except for the blue stripes on its wings turn to green, which for me would be. Also, I loaded up Spotify for this stream and then never turned it on because I was like, oh, this stream might be boring. Like, I'm just talking to myself for hours. Let's listen to music. And then I never turn on the music. I apologize. I'll start turning on music now. I literally looked up a lo-fi music playlist that also is non-copyright so that I can play it on Twitch without getting banned. And then I never played it. Apologies. Apologies, guys. Anyways. I feel so dumb right now. My apologies, friends. That's okay. There was no one here for like the first half hour of the stream anyway, so I basically was talking to myself. The music wouldn't have changed anything. Where was I? Oh yeah. Wingle. Nothing changes about Wingle, except for the blue stripes on his wings turn to green, which, by my own rules and definitions, would almost immediately make him an F tier, but it helps that green is one of my favorite colors, so he gets saved a little bit, and I think I can boost him up to E tier for that, but otherwise, pretty disappointing, and yeah, E tier. His evolution, Pelipper, is a bit better, because all his blue feet, his blue wings, his blue head, all get turned to green, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot, but I also don't really like Pelipper, so that kind of bumps him down a peg. So because I think his shiny's cool, but I think Pelipper isn't cool, that balances him out to like a C tier for me. We move... Oopsies, I accidentally opened him as a image. We move on to Joltik, which nothing changes except for the color of his eyes and the color of his toes, from blue to purple. Which, by the same logic I use for Wingle, like, I hate the color blue, so cool that that changes. But, man, does that suck so much. Because it's so little about, like, so little of him changes that it feels, and blue and purple are such similar colors that, like, my logic is, if I'm showing a shiny Pokemon off on stream, or maybe I'm showing a shiny Pokemon to one of my friends, I want them to immediately recognize that it's a shiny without me having to tell them it's shiny. And with Joltik, I don't think they would because blue and purple are so similar. With Wingle, the previous example, blue and green are pretty opposite. Especially like blue and lime green. So you could maybe tell. But with this, I would look at this and I don't even know if I could tell if this is a shiny or not. So for that, it's quite lackluster, and I think I'm going to put it in F tier. Because only the eye color changes, and the eye color changes from blue to purple, which is nothing. Galvantula is also kind of disappointing. Because it just changes from, like, light blue to dark blue. However, the dark gray / black you see here on its back and underbelly, that changes from brown to dark gray black, which makes it a little bit more noticeable it's shiny. So like the eye color and feet change from light blue to dark blue. Not so noticeable. But the stripes here on its back and the underbelly change from brown to like black, which is a bit more noticeable. And I love Galvantula. Would I be able to tell this is a shiny right away? Maybe not. But I like Galvantula, So I think that saves him from going immediately into F tier, and I'll put him in E tier to be polite. Just to be polite. Electrike, this one's just okay. I don't like the colors. I should explain, because I said at the beginning of the stream, I hate the colors blue and yellow, and this is blue and yellow. But what I do like is that he looks like his evolution. So his evolution is blue and yellow. So I do like that he changes from green and yellow to blue and yellow as though he's mimicking his evolution. It's kind of cute in that regard, and it makes sense from a lore perspective. So for that reason, I'll give it to him. Also, this Gavantula, the first one, needs to be deleted. It's just in the middle of the screen for no reason. Manectric, though, goes from blue and yellow, my two least favorite colors, to black and yellow, which are at least a better combination. Still don't like the color yellow, but black makes it look a little bit better. So for that reason, I'll bump it up to A tier. It would be S tier if it got rid of the color yellow. Honestly. We then got Vulpix, which doesn't really change too much, but it's one of my favorite Pokemon. So for that reason, I'll keep it in C tier. I don't think I can put it below C tier, or else I would be sad with myself. Like, I'd be disappointed at myself. I can't put one of my favorite Pokemon below the halfway mark. Meanwhile, my favorite Pokemon of all time is Ninetales, and its shiny is absolutely gorgeous, and it's different in many ways to its original color, so it meets many of the criteria that I'm using tonight. So for that reason, because it's my favorite Pokemon and because it's very different than its original colors, it's an S tier in my heart. On to the next evolution line, Growlithe. It's so similar to its original colors. And I also, like, don't care about Growlithe that much. That, like, I don't know how I'm supposed to put this above F tier. I'm gonna be honest. Dude is so similar. Same thing with its evolution, Arcanine. I guess Arcanine, it's kind of like yellow. How do I explain this? So, like, Growlithe looked light orange, while his normal colors are dark orange. Meanwhile, Growlithe's evolution, Arcanine, looks yellow, while his colors are dark orange. So I guess I can put Arcanine in E tier. But I hate the color yellow, so, like, it doesn't help him much. It doesn't help him much. Oh, we're moving on to three that I don't have great feelings towards. Well, Vanillite, actually, I'm okay with. Vanillite goes from blue to purple, and it's an ice cream cone. Three things that I really like. Like, it's a Pokemon I really like, it's shiny I really like, and its color I really like, so Vanillite itself, probably S tier for me. Its two evolutions, though, are going to do an entire 180, an entire about face, as the color doesn't change, like, at all. And I think they missed out on a great opportunity here with Vanillish and its evolution we'll see next, Vanillux, where they could have made the shiny, like, dark brown and had it be chocolate ice cream. Instead, the original color here on the cone is just light blue, and they made it dark blue. The ice cream color's exactly the same as the normal Pokemon. They missed out on the greatest opportunity ever. Complete wasted potential to make the shiny chocolate ice cream. And instead, they just made the shiny a dark blue ice cream cone instead of light blue. That's what changed. Stupid, pointless, and wasted potential. So for that reason, Vanillish is F tier, and its evolution, Vanillux, is F tier. Anyways, Swinub is the next one, which is kind of weird for me because I like the color green, but I think it looks worse, kind of, than regular Swinub. Which is weird because I like the color green, so I don't know why it looks worse, but I can't explain it, and like I said, the stream's already on pace to take way too long, so I don't want to waste time trying to explain my psyche. So Swinub's going to go in D tier. Can't explain it. Same thing with Pillow-Swine. Well, actually, this one I could probably explain. I think it looks worse because it's yellow. I don't like the color yellow. So that's going to go in E tier, just because I hate the color yellow so much. Oh, and its third evolution. I sometimes forget that it has a third evolution, Mamoswine. It looks sick. It looks sickly because of that, like, vomit color green. So that's also going to go in E tier. Anyways, we go to Delibird, who goes from red to pink. I like that one. I like that change a lot. I don't think it's too much better because the benefit of Delibird being red is it kind of has that Christmas vibe, and it loses that Christmas vibe by turning pink. But pink isn't a horrible look on it. Snorunt being blue, I think is a really good look for it, especially because it's an ice type. I'm a little biased because I own Snorunt. It's one of the few shinies that I've caught, so I'm a little biased. But I'm gonna put Snorunt in the A tier because it's supposed to be like, you know, an ice man, so it makes sense that he's shrouded in a hood of ice. And I like that it's shiny. Turns its hood into ice. I'm not even going to show you the big picture of Glalie, because I think Glalie's shiny is very disappointing. It only changes the color of its eyes. That's pretty much it. F tier. Yeah, I'm a little angry about that one. Frostlass, kind of in a similar boat. It only really changes the color of its scarf around its waist. If I didn't love you, Frostlass, you'd be F tier. Because I love you, you're getting bumped up to E tier. Baltoy, on the other hand, we have a lot of disappointments right now. It changes the color of its unibrow and its waist. That's it. The rest of it is the same color. And because I dislike Baltoy, that's going into F tier. Cool, the color of your unibrow changed. Tell me how many women don't talk to you in a day. Its evolution only changes the color of its eyes. So also F tier. Sorry, I'm getting annoyed. Mudbray is a Pokemon that I really, really like. It's grown on me a lot. I think it's very cute. But its shiny is kind of disappointing, because it just goes from dark brown to like a light creamy brown color, and its hair goes from black to blue, and I don't like the color blue. So I just think it's worse. Honestly, I'm gonna put it in D tier because I just think it's worse. It's a little bit of a bummer. However, Mudbray's evolution has not grown on me at all. I don't like Mudbray's evolution. Mudsdale is still ugly, in my opinion. So, for that reason, as well as the reason that I think its shiny is worse, it's going to go to E tier. We move on to Dwebble, who, fun fact, is an immediate F tier, because for you Pokemon fans watching at home, you might have been like, oh wait, no, Caleb, you accidentally saved the same image of Dwebble as his normal colors. That wasn't his shiny. No, that was his shiny. It just looks the same because Pokemon's stupid and for some reason makes shinies that are the same. His shiny looks the exact same as his regular colors. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? Crustle, his evolution, is different though. It is wildly different, but also worse. I think this is worse. This is very worse. This is very worse. It's bad. And I don't know how it's so bad. I like the color green. I like the color green on Crustle. Or I like the color green in general, but I don't like it on Crustle. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Got my words mixed up. Apologies. Like, it's so bad I'm putting it in E tier. I think it's, once again, because they're using, like, a vomit color green. Yuck. The orange is a little lighter on Shiny Dwebble. Yeah, I know, but it's so similar. It's so similar. I had to make the joke. Let's turn the tide here. Let's get a little positive. Golett, finally, a shiny that actually looks better for once. I like this a lot. I think this actually looks better. I like especially how the metal straps around it look more defined and a lot more saturated, and the contrast is better, I think. These colors pop more to me. And I think if it was just a tad better, just a tad more of what I was looking for, it'd be an S tier, but it's still an A tier. Like, that's my only negative thing that I can say about Golett is it's not S tier, but it's still A tier, so it's still good. And Golurk, its evolution, same boat. I think it's better. I think it's much better. I think it looks a lot more menacing and a lot more rustic. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. Ooh, we're moving on to Munna, which, even though I hate the color yellow, I like the green and pink that's paired with it. So, you know, even though I hate the color yellow, I think Munna is a safe B tier for me. And Moonsharna, its evolution, is okay. I really don't like the color blue. And I am a little bummed out that they didn't change too much of Moonsharna. Like, they changed all of Munna's colors, but Moonsharna, they only changed half of their colors. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in like C tier, because it's just okay. It's just like, I don't like it better or worse than before. Honestly, the more I look at it, I think I'm gonna put it in D tier because of the blue. The blue just looks weird. Oh God, dude, we were having fun for a little bit. And now it's right back to negativity. This isn't a picture of regular Natu. I promise you it's a picture of shiny Natu. It just looks the same. So it's an F tier. It's such wasted potential, Game Freak, Pokemon, Nintendo. Such wasted potential. Same with Xatu. Why do they do this to us? Immediate F tier. Like, I'm never gonna shiny hunt for Natu or Xatu because of that. And I like those two Pokemon. I like Natu, I like Xatu, but I'm never gonna shiny hunt for them now because their shinies are so bad. Anyways, Stufful is a Pokemon that I have shiny hunted for, and I have caught because I think he looks adorable. I love the color orange, and I love the way it looks on Stufful. That to me is immediate S tier. And Beware is only an A tier because I think he looks a little creepy. I mean, his nickname is Pedo Bear. Anyways, Snover, his shiny isn't too different, but I do think it looks fitting. Yeah, he looks like a cheese. I love him. I love Stufful. Snover's shiny looks fitting because he's an ice type and his hands turn from green to blue, which isn't a significant change for the shiny, but it's enough for me to say, hey, he looks okay, and put him in C tier. Same with his evolution, Abomasnow. We move on to Crabby, who, kind of disappointing that he just changes from orange to like yellow, especially because I hate the color yellow. So for me, Crabby kind of just falls from like, honestly, D tier. Yeah, D tier. But Kingler, I have kind of an unpopular opinion about Kingler. A lot of people don't like Kingler's shiny, but I love it. It reminds me of like blue crabs up north, and I think it's so cool that he has that vibe to him. So I'm gonna do something that I don't think a lot of Pokemon fans would do, and I'm putting Kingler all the way up in S tier. Straight up. Yeah, Crabby does look faded. Crabby looks a little faded. So I don't like Crabby that much, but like I said, Kingler kind of has that blue crab vibe, which I love. I also love eating blue crab, so maybe that's why. I'm just getting hungry now, which is why I put him in S tier. Anyways, we move on to Wooper, who turns from blue to pink. I just love Wooper. I think Wooper's cute. I feel like if the pink was a little bit more saturated, a little bit more bright in contrast, I would put him in S tier, but because it's kind of faded, I'm only going to put him in A tier. Quagsire Wooper's evolution, though, I'm not too hype about. I do like that the pink is a lot more bright, saturated, but I don't really like Quagsire that much. So he won't be joining Wooper in A tier. He'll just be in B tier. Moving on to Corefish. Corefish is a weird one, as he goes from orange to like a pinkish red, which I kind of like because he looks a little bit more like a crab in this color. I kind of like it. He looks more like how a crab should look. So, you know, it's good, fitting the definition of the term B tier. Then we get to Crawdad, and Crawdad just looks faded compared to his regular colors. Similar to how we just described Crabby, he just looks faded. It looks like they left him out in the sun for a little bit. So Crawdad's gonna go down to D tier. Kind of disappointing, honestly. Nincada is all yellow. And we've talked a lot about how I feel about the color yellow tonight, so it's going to be no surprise where I put Nincada in this tier list. And they do the same thing with Ninjask. And let me just explain. Kind of... Shedinja doesn't change at all. Okay. Okay. They're trying to play with my heart. Ninjask going in E tier because they just turned him yellow. And Shedinja is going in F tier because they didn't change him at all. Disappointing. Tyrogue goes from kind of brown and pink looking to gray and blue. Which, even though I don't like the color blue that much, it's not a bad look for him. I'll be honest. Gray and blue is not a bad color combo. So you know what? I think it kind of looks like the same. I think Tyrogue kind of looks the same as his normal self. I'll be honest. Hitmonlee. Also, alright. He's alright. I'll put Hitmonlee in good just because I like Hitmonlee. He's a Pokemon that I used a lot in the original games. We got Hitmonchan, who I want to love. I want to love the shiny because they change a lot of his colors. But similar to how much I hate the color combo of red and blue, I hate the color combo of green and blue, which is kind of what they're doing here. So I'm going to bump him down to D tier because I think it's worse than his original colors. Him on top, just to show you how he looks real quick, they changed him from brown and blue to gray and pink. Which, similar to Tyrogue, I just think it looks okay. It just looks the same. Those two have very similar vibes about their shinies and their shiny changes. Very, very similar vibes. Anyways, Pancham, this is where we're starting a really weird vibe of like Pokemon that I don't know how to explain it, but almost have like a theme to them. I'm struggling to explain it, but Pancham I like a lot. He has an autumn theme, and for that reason I think he looks better. I would bump him up to A tier if I liked the color brown on him more. His evolution, Pangoro, same look pretty much. And therefore, he's going to get the same tier, B tier. The next three Pokemon, I actually don't hate their shinies that much. But I hate these Pokemon so much that I'm probably going to put them all in E tier. Like, these are some of my least favorite Pokemon in the entire franchise. The only thing saving them from being F tier is the fact that their shinies are okay. I hate Clink, I hate Clang, and I hate Clink Clang so much. Anyways, on to Combee, which goes from yellow to a dark orange, almost scarlet color. I really like this. It has a very rich honey look to it. I really like this. I would almost put this in S tier. But at the same time, I don't... You know what? Actually, I'm going to put this in S tier. Because I don't know how this would get better. Like, I don't know what way... I was going to say, like... I was going to suggest a way they could have done this better. I don't think they could have done this better. I don't think that there's a way the shiny could have been better. So for that reason, I think this is an S tier, actually. Same with Vespi Queen. I don't think this could have been... I don't think there's a way this could have gotten better. So why wouldn't I put this in S tier? If there's no way to make it better, it has to go in S tier, right? Anyways, Bronzor. I am also a very big fan of this. Because I like the way this metal Pokemon looks green as though it has faded. Because there is a little bit of lore to suggest this Pokemon is copper, which would then make even more sense that it has faded into green, similar to like the Statue of Liberty has. So Bronzor in my heart is an S tier because I just love the lore behind its shiny. However, its evolution, Bronzong, kind of looks a little weird to me. Never been a fan, but I still like the lore, so maybe I keep it in A tier instead of going down to B tier. We move on to Ralts, who I know everyone loves Ralts shiny. I just don't like the color blue though. So while I will recognize that Ralts has a good shiny, I can't put it that high because I don't like the color blue. Like other people would put it in S or A tier. I'll put it in B tier. I'll recognize that it has a good shiny, but I don't like its shiny. Its evolutions, Curlia and Gardevoir. Oh, and Gallade. I'll also put them in B tier. They'll just all go in the same tier. Just because I don't really like the color blue that much. Especially when the original color of Ralts' evolution line, all four of these Pokemon, are green, which is a color I like so much more than blue. So, why would I go for shiny Ralts when I could have just green Ralts, the regular Ralts? I like green more. Anyways. Next up is our next S tier. It's Drifloon. I think Drifloon shiny is so cool. And I know this looks hypocritical because I said earlier I hate the color yellow and I hate the color blue. But this really bright light blue and this really bright yellow work so well together, especially in a balloon context. I can't explain it. This is like the only context in which I will like yellow and blue. And I also love the way they use it in Drifblim with a lime green as well. Like, it just works. I can't explain it. It just works. I really can't explain it. It just works. Anyways. Who's next? Oh, we got Gossifleur. Gossifleur. You know, I actually don't hate this shiny. I think it's pretty. I think it's very pretty. This is like an A tier. Nothing more I can say about that. And its evolution, who I know I did not show off in a, you know, zoomed in format. I kind of like because it looks, again, almost autumnal. I think that's how you pronounce the word. Like, it looks like a plant in the fall. Like a plant that's just starting to die off. Which sounds sad, but I think it's somewhat beautiful. As for Cherubi, it just looks faded. faded is a word we've used a lot tonight. It literally looks like they turned the saturation and contrast down on Chargebug, and I hate that. So it's an F tier. Its evolution, they didn't do anything other than change the color purple on the leaves to blue here. And I hate the color blue, especially when I like the color purple more. So that's gonna make it an E tier for me. As for Stunky, which is a Pokemon I used to hate because I just was like, oh, as a kid I was like, oh, it's a skunk. Why would I want a skunk? Stunky's grown on me a little bit. I kind of see the cuteness of it, and I do like how they changed it to pink, which makes it even more cute. So, you know, I kind of like this. I kind of like the shiny. I'm gonna bump it up to A tier. However, what has not grown on me is Stunky's evolution, Skunk Tank. I don't care if its shiny is good, and I will admit its shiny is good. The best I'll give it is D tier, because I hate Skunk Tank. As for Temple, it goes from blue to yellow, but at the same time, the only thing that changes is its tail and little circle of color here. So, like, to me, that's still F tier. Like, it goes from bad to bad, and very little of it changes. Well, I guess I gotta recognize the fact that something changes, so I'll put it in E tier. Palpitoad, on the other hand, it's got something going for it. Not something good, but better than its previous evolution. So I'll upgrade it from, you know, Timple's E tier rating to D tier. I'll give Palpitoad D tier. And Seismitoad kind of has that like poison frog look going for it. So I'll even upgrade it. Sorry, I almost said upgrade because I'm thinking Toad. I'll upgrade it again. Each evolution has gotten an upgrade. Timple was E tier, then it went up to D tier, and now Seismitoad, it's gonna go all the way up to B tier for me. Not bad. Not bad. Also, we might have to get out another... Like, we might have to save this when it gets filled up. Because we're not even halfway through the Pokemon, and we're starting to fill up this list. Anyway, on to Deskull, which I really, really like Deskull. I really, really like Deskull here. I think Deskull Shinies... I'm torn between A and S tier on this one. And I think I'm going to put it in S. Because I don't like Dusclops that much. I think Dusclops as a Pokemon is disappointing. So it gives me an excuse to like bump Dusclops down. Like I think Dusclops is ugly. So it gives me, like I said, an excuse to put Dusclops down in B tier. And then Dusknort's final evolution is also super disappointing because it goes from red to blue. Like its previous shinies were red. Why is this one blue? I don't like the color blue. Get on my face. You're going down to D tier. That way I can kind of just go from S tier, down 2 tiers to B, down 2 tiers to D with each evolution line. As for Machop, Machop, I don't think this one's good. It's got like a tan brown color, which, I mean, it's nothing to write home about. Especially when we compare it to what its next 2 evolutions look like. That being Machoke, having green with blue lines on it, which I think looks kind of nice. And Machamp kind of being the same thing. Both of these, like I said, kind of look nice. Sorry. Gotta close that. Ghastly. Ghastly, I don't know how to feel about. It's different, but it's also blue. I think worse is an accurate description of how I feel about Ghastly. And then we move on to two really disappointing shinies. Haunter, where the only thing changes is the color of his mouth. The tongue inside his mouth goes from red to blue, which no one would ever notice unless you're paying really close attention. So that makes him immediately an F tier. And Gengar, where the color of his ghostly body just changes from purple to a slightly darker purple, which again, I would almost never notice. Even if I owned him myself as a shiny hunter, I'd almost never notice. So, 2 F tiers back to back, disappointing. Now we have the Golden Magikarp, which, as a meme, I want to put an S tier, but at the same time, it's kind of just like a more faded version of the reddish orange scarlet colored Magikarp that we see default. Also, I just realized I missed 2 chat messages somehow. My chat must have been lagging out on Streamlabs OBS. I apologize. I would like Shiny Deskull more if it already has a shiny its eye from red to blue. Oh. I see what you're saying. That's an interesting point. Huh, I didn't think about that. Sorry I missed that chat message, by the way. I don't know if I was just like zoned out or if my Streamlabs OBS lagged out. My apologies. Anyways. I don't know if I should rate this really high because I think it's funny Magikarp turns gold, or if I should rate this really low because you could make the argument that Magikarp turns basically a faded, lower saturated version of himself. And I think those 2 arguments maybe cancel out and put him in the C tier. Maybe. It's an okay shiny. Alright, we'll put him in C tier. I agree with you. Similarly, Gyarados, even though he's a really cool shiny, and I like the way he turns red, is kind of default C tier because everyone and their mother owns a shiny Gyarados, considering you can get one for free in Silver, Gold, Soul Silver, and Heart Gold. So, kind of a bummer, as well as Crystal. We move on to Goldeen, which is a disappointing shiny because it just turns a slightly different shade of orange. So, yeah. F tier. Makes me mad. Because I actually really like Goldeen as a Pokemon, and I would like to shiny hunt it in the future, but I never will, because it's just a slightly different shade of orange. Same with Seeking. So F tier. As for Remoraid, it goes from, like, a light blue to purple. I don't know how I feel about this, because I like the color purple, but, like, it's a fish, so it kind of makes sense. It makes more sense in its original colors, being light blue, and it would blend in with the water more easily. It would be more camouflaged, and now it just sticks out. It'd be easy target as prey. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm just gonna put it in C tier. Its evolution, or not its evolution, sorry. Don't mind me, I'm dumb. Please don't mind me, I'm being dumb. Oh no, Octillery is its evolution. I don't know, I'm second guessing myself. I second guessed myself because I was like, wait, why would a fish evolve into an octopus? But it's Pokemon, so it makes sense. Its evolution, Octillery, goes from red to a very sickly looking yellow-orange color. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's worse. Actually, I think it's worse than worse. I think it's bad. Putting it in E tier. As for Shelter, he's like a creamsicle color. Original color purple, shiny color is creamsicle. Normally, I would like a shiny with a creamsicle color. But this is supposed to be a clam. So that kind of leaves me feeling weird about it, and I'm going to put it in C tier. Cloyster, on the other hand, goes from purple to blue, which I think is a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better and a little bit more understandable. But I also hate the color blue. You know what? I'm going to put both of these Pokemon in their evolution line in the C tier. Oh, we have Feebas next. Feebas. I love Feebas's evolution line, and it's shiny. It looks bronze. What were we talking about? Oh, were you talking about Artillery? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel, man. These fish shinies are so weird. At least the previous ones. And I don't know how I feel about them. Which is why I'm putting them in C tier. Because, like, I don't like them, but I don't dislike them. So I'm putting them in the middle tier. If I sat here and looked at them for a couple minutes, I could maybe develop better emotions. But that would make this live stream take 8 hours. And we don't have 8 hours. However, Feebas is where things start to change. These last couple fish Pokemon have been weird, but I love Feebas. I love Feebas, and I think it's shiny, for me, is like an A tier, because I like the color purple, and I think it actually turns Feebas from an ugly Pokemon into a good-looking Pokemon. And to take that one step further, its evolution Melodic is an S tier shiny, in my opinion. Like, this shiny is amazing. I love Melodic shiny. I love it a lot. However, we have more fish Pokemon to look at, and that means we have more disappointments to look at. For example, Basculin, whose shiny is just faded. Like many of the Pokemon we have talked about tonight, it just looks faded. So, got another F tier. Yay. Shiny Octillery looks bronze, but also with a little too much yellow. Yeah, that's why I put it in E tier. I don't like it. Wishy-Washy is next up on the board. And it's different, but only more yellow. And I don't like the color yellow. So honestly, I'm not gonna put that as far down as like F tier, because it's not even that different. Like, every color's the same except for where things are slightly yellow. It normally is white, and white and yellow are so similar. I guess the point I'm trying to make is, like, a casual Pokemon fan could mistake that as a normal Wishy-Washy and wouldn't even recognize that as a shiny, which is silly. Like, a casual Pokemon fan could mistake a shiny Wishy-Washy for a regular Wishy-Washy. I don't know how I feel about this shiny. I don't know how I feel about this one. I feel like it actually, even though I like the color green, I feel like it might be slightly worse than the original colors, which are black body with pink spikes. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like the black and pink colors that are used originally. So I'm gonna put that in the worst tier. Dude, Trubbish I actually like. I like Trubbish's shiny because it makes sense. Like, it makes sense from a lore perspective, because it changes from like a green trash bag to a black, like, dumpster trash bag. And I think that's so cool. I think that's really cool. The only thing that's stopping me from putting Trubbish in S tier is the fact that it's a Pokemon made out of trash, and that's disgusting. So it's an A tier. But if Trubbish wasn't a garbage Pokemon, literally, it would be S tier. But I love the fact that it's shiny, changes the green trash bag to a black trash bag, which just makes sense. And then we go to its evolution, and the green trash bag becomes a light blue trash bag, which makes no sense at all. That makes no sense at all. And I think it looks ugly. So we're bumping that down to E tier. Anyways, Sizzlipede, nothing changes except the color of its back. And that changes from brown to dark gray, slash, like, I guess regular gray. I don't know if we could call that dark gray. It changes from brown to gray. And I think that's stupid. Like, you wouldn't even notice upon first glance. So I'm putting Sizzlipede in F tier. And then Centiskorch, it gets a little bit more noticeable, where the brown turns to blue. So more noticeable. But as I said earlier, he had his bag dyed. Yeah, well, I don't know why, okay? I like the bag originally. I just think it's such cool lore that that Trubbish is like a black trash bag when he's shiny. Because I use black trash bags all the time at home. So it's so cool to see Trubbish as a black trash bag. Anyways, going back to Centiskorch, I like this shiny a lot better than Sizzlipede. But I said earlier in the stream, I don't like red and blue as a color combo. So I don't really like this color combo. Therefore, I will recognize this for being a good shiny on an unbiased level, but on a biased level, I'm putting this in the D tier because I am biased. Roly-Coly's evolution line, for me, it just doesn't work. I think it looks better non-shiny. It just looks off. So, for me, Roly-Coly is an E tier. His evolution, Carkol, is an E tier. And the only one that has a little bit of leeway is Colossal, where it looks a little okay. It looks a little bit better. But again, I still think it's D tier because regular Colossal is better. The shiny is worse. Like the definition of D tier, being worse. So that whole evolution line's kind of scuffed. Yeah, you can never get just a baby Kangaskhan. It's kind of disappointing. Anyways, on the Diglett, where just the color of his nose changes, which would really disappoint me and would almost be an instant F tier for me. But I do like that the color of his nose is purple. I really like the color purple. So I don't know where to put him. Purple is one of my favorite colors. But at the same time, it's so similar to his default nose color, which is pink. Purple and pink are so similar. I love Diglett, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm putting him in F tier. I love Diglett, but I can't justify it. I feel like it's unfair to put it in not in F tier. His nose color is so similar to default. I don't know. And when you hatch Cubone, it has a skull on its head. Oh, that means, yeah, the female Cubone dies after breeding every time. Jeez. Oh, Drillbur is kind of a cool shiny because a lot of it changes. And I think the colors change for the better. So, I think Drillbur's... Here's what I'll say. I think Drillbur is B tier because it gets a little bit better than its original colors. And its evolution, Excadrill, is an A tier because it gets even better than Drillbur. It gets 1 tier better than Drillbur. Moving on to Roggenrola, this whole evolution line I think is adorable. I love this whole evolution line. Roggenrola is A tier to me. I like it a lot. And its next 2 evolutions, I'm going to be straight up with you, in my opinion, are S tier. Because I love the light blue color of the stones on it. It reminds me of like crystals. And I love the purple color of its body because it contrasts that beautifully. I love it. I love it. Like, these are S tier Pokemon, in my opinion. S tier shinies, at least. S tier shinies. Again, it just looks like really cool crystals that are shooting out of its body. So I'm putting both Boldore and Gigalith in the S tier. As for Timber, it looks super similar to its default. The only thing that is noticeably different is... Dude, for a second, I thought the birds chirping were not in the song, but outside, even though it's midnight, so there's definitely no birds chirping outside my window. I'm tripping out. The veins popping out of its head and sides are a lot more red, where in its normal colors, they're more pink. But otherwise, I don't like the shiny that much, because I think it looks so similar. And I also don't like Timber that much. I just think it looks so similar. Like, you know, I'll be nice because it looks different. And I'll put it in the E tier. Like, it looks a little different. And like this one, yeah, the colors are a little different. So I'll be nice and I'll put it in A tier. But for Conkeldurr, I'm gonna be honest, I don't care about Conkeldurr. I hate this Pokemon. So because I hate this Pokemon, it's going in F tier. That one I'm not gonna be nice to. He got a tan. Pretty much. Pretty much just got a tan. Moving on to Woobat. This is another one where I feel like I should love it because its colors change from blue to green. I don't like the color blue. I do like the color green. But I don't. And I can't explain why. And if we had more time tonight, I would sit here and, you know, rack my brain trying to explain why. But I'm just going to throw him in D tier, and I'm going to feel bad about it. Same thing with his evolution. Like, it changes from blue to green with a yellow head. Maybe the yellow head is why I don't like it, but I'm just going to throw it in D tier and move on. Oh, we have some good ones coming up, boys. We got Noibat, who I think looks adorable. I like Noibat a lot. That's an easy A tier. And then his evolution, Noivern. In my opinion, yes, that's a word. In my opinion, Noivern is a hands down S tier. I love the green and like red combo. The green and red color combo reminds me, like, it's gonna sound weird, but it reminds me of strawberry watermelon, like smoothies grown up. I don't know, it's just great. Here's a weird combo. You got Onyx, who turns this weird, like, greenish copper color, which I think looks worse than regular Onyx. But then he evolves into Steelix, who goes from just gray to gold, which I think is an S tier shiny. Like, gold Steelix is an S tier. Come on, that's so cool. Having a fully gold, you know, 24 karat gold Steelix, that's awesome. That's awesome. Shouldn't D tier be bad and E tier be worse? No. So what I meant by worse and then bad is, like, worse means I think this is worse than its original colors. And bad means, like, it's bad. Like, I do not like green eggs and ham. Like, I understand the confusion there, but when I wrote down at the beginning of the stream the descriptions for all these, I meant worse as in, like, worse than original colors. So, like, I think all these Pokemon are just like worse than their original colors. But I see what you mean. Because like if this was, say, like the word worst, I would probably have it as the F tier. But it's worse for a reason. Yeah, I mean worse as in worse than their original Pokemon. Like I think the original Pokemon is better than the shiny Pokemon. Anyways, on to Arrokuda. Which it's well, hey, fitting in that word, worse than its original colors. And onto Barraskewda, kind of similar in that regard, worse than its original. How about Meowth? Oh, come on, we are really getting screwed here. Actually, even though I don't like the color yellow, I'm gonna put Meowth in the C tier because I like how it resembles the original Meowth in color and style. Berserker, kind of the same way. Kind of the same way. Meanwhile, I know I'm gonna hate this one because I've talked about this before. Persian, literally just a lighter shade of yellow than its regular. It looks the same. I hate Persian shiny. It's a Viking. Dude, there's some really cool Pokemon now, like with really cool lore. Oh, dude, speaking of cool Pokemon with cool shinies, I think Milcery has a really cool shiny, and I like how it has the black eyes. It almost looks evil. They took a really cute Pokemon and made it look evil with its shiny, so I'm putting it in A tier for that reason. And its evolution also kind of looks evil. Alcremie, of course, its shiny is going to look different depending on how you design it, but I'll put that in A tier too, because you can make it look really, really cool depending on what, decorations you give it and how you evolve it. Let's move on to Cutie Fly, shall we? Let's move on to Cutie Fly. I would put Berserker in the S tier just because it's a Viking. That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, I'm very biased because of my preference on colors and the likes. Cutie Fly goes from yellow to pink, which also already puts it pretty good standing in my opinion. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna put Cutie Fly in the B tier, and its evolution, Ribombee, in the A tier, because I love how Ribombee goes from yellow to pink, and more specifically, this scarf around its neck goes from brown to red. I love that red scarf. So Ribombee is going to go A tier. As for Ferroseed, I think this is just worse. It's not terrible, but it's worse. Ferrothorn, also worse. I wanted to maybe put that in C tier because I love Ferrothorn as Pokemon. I used Ferrothorn a lot in Pokemon Ruby, but I can't even try to begin to admit that I like that. I think that's worse. I like that less than Ferroseed. I hate that. I hate that shiny. Like, I'll bring it up on screen again just to say how much I hate this. The only reason this isn't below D tier is because I like Ferrothorn so much as Pokemon. I like Ferrothorn so much, which is the only reason it's being saved from E tier. Yikes. Ooh, these next two are real good shinies. Pumpkaboo, I mean, it's just spooky. It's spooky season, baby. It fully embodies spooky season. I think Pumpkaboo and its evolution, Gorgeist, are S tier shinies. These two fully embody spooky season. It's spooky season as well. Do we even have to say it? Do we even have to say it? Pichu's an F tier because it doesn't even look different. Pikachu is an F tier because it barely looks different. And Raichu, I'm not even going to pull it up in the full screen, is also an F tier because it barely looks different. Thankfully, Eevee is an S tier. Well, actually, I don't know if I can make it S. Because it... Well, I like Eevee's evolution. I'm torn between A tier and S tier on Eevee. Because I love the cream color of it, but it's not that different. Here's my thought. Spooky season. Could they have made Eevee shiny any better? Because that determines whether or not it's an S tier or an A tier. Do I think they could have made any better? I don't think so. I really like the creamy, like, white color of it. I think it fits Eevee's personality perfect. So it's S tier. Moving on. Vaporeon, pink. I think that's near perfect for Vaporeon. I'm gonna be honest. If it's the mermaid vibe for Vaporeon, perfect. So that bumps Vaporeon up to S tier in my opinion. Hey, listen, we're not going off strength. We're going off how it looks. Alright. Jolteon, I don't know how I feel about this one, because I feel like it looks sick. It looks sickly. Especially when we have such a crisp Espeon coming up in a little bit. So, to be polite to Jolteon, we're going to put this in C tier, but it's not that great. Same with Flareon. Flareon does not look that different at all. Honestly, if I wasn't implementing personal bias into this list, Flareon would be D tier or E tier, but I love Flareon so much, I'm putting it in C tier. Like, it's shiny is D tier or E tier, but I love Flareon, so it's C tier. Anyways, the reason Jolteon got a C tier is because Espeon exists, and Espeon shiny is so perfectly saturated and like highlighted in green. I love it. It's S tier. I mean, this is like the best green you've ever seen. This is the type of green you wish you could have on every Pokemon. Love me, Ninetales. Hey, Ninetales is in the S tier, baby. That's what we like to see. We move on to another S tier. Spoiler alert, Umbreon. I mean, that shiny is flawless. I think the only evolution that's going to go below C tier is the shiny of Leafeon, just because it doesn't really change at all. That's the reason this is going to go below C tier. It doesn't change. So I'm going to put it in D. It would go lower, but it's an evolution, so I don't want to be mean to it. Same with Glaceon. Glaceon doesn't change, like, at all. It looks the same. Its shiny is disappointing. So once again, D tier. And then Sylveon. Sylveon changes a pretty good bit. It goes from pink to blue. So I'm going to put it in A tier. Only reason it's not S is because I don't really like color blue that much. And that's all the evolutions done. Oh, we have some fun ones coming up next. Number 205 in the Pokedex. How do you think shiny Umbreon would look with red rings instead of blue? I still think that would look pretty good. Maybe not as good because red is so similar to yellow, but still pretty good. But anyways, 205 on the Pokedex. So we're over the halfway mark now. Over the halfway mark in the Galar Pokedex is the Applin evolution line, which, spoiler alert, again, S tier. I think it is perfect. Like, it just makes sense that Applin's shiny changes the color of the apple from red to green. I mean, what else would you want? I think the definition of S tier is if the shiny is the best color it could be. Like, there's no better color they could have chosen. And for Applin, that's on point. Same with Flapple. His apple color goes from red to green. The only Applin evolution that isn't going to be an S tier is Appleturn or Appleton, whatever you want to call it. I call it Appleturn. And that's because the only thing that changes is the color of the apple on his head, but they don't change the color of his body, which confuses me why they didn't change the color of his body. It would have been so easy to do that. I don't know why they didn't do that. Slightly disappointing. Feels like wasted potential there. But I still think he's cool, and I still love him. So I'm going to keep him in like A tier. I'm going to keep him in A tier because I love him. It's just wasted potential that would have put him in S tier. Anyways, let's go to Esper. Esper goes from purple to pink, which, like, okay, cool. In fact, because I used the word, we're just going to put him in C tier, the OK tier. Meowstic, its evolution goes from blue to yellow. I think that kind of fits its evolutionary line, C tier. Swirlix is a weird one because it's supposed to be a cream Pokemon, and it goes from like a white, light, fluffy cream to a mocha cream, which I think's cool. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's cool. And I'm gonna put it in A tier. You might be wondering, well, come on, that sounds perfect. Why is it not in S tier? Because its evolution is gonna go in S tier. Its evolution is actually perfect. And I think this shiny is spot on for what it could have and should have been. Spritzy. Spritzy's a Pokemon I don't care about, but its shiny actually looks pretty cool. So I'm torn as to where I should put it, because I'm never going to shiny hunt for this Pokemon. But I like it shiny. So maybe because I don't care about it, but because I like it shiny, we kind of balance those two things out and put it in C tier. Those two things kind of even out. I don't know. Aromatisse, on the other hand, I don't like it shiny as much because not as much of it changes as Spritzy. A lot of it stays the same as its original. So I'm going to put it down in D tier because I think it's worse. If you look at female Meowstic, I would say it looks better than male Meowstic. I kind of agree with that. Drac. Shiny wise? Ooh, I didn't know we were talking about the shiny. I thought we were just talking about regular. Oh, no, I agree with that too. You know what then? I'll move Meowstic up one. I'm gonna move Meowstic up one. Why not? You bring up a very good point, my friends. Anyways, move on to Dewpider. Dewpider changes from yellow to purple, which I really like. I really like that a lot. I think it kind of has, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's not perfect, but it almost has Black Widow vibes. And because it almost has Black Widow vibes, why is that so... Oh, I'm an idiot. Like, why is this one so big? It's because I dragged and dropped it. Because it almost has Black Widow vibes, I'm going to put it in A tier, not S tier. It's almost perfect, but not perfect. So Dewpider and Araquanid are both going to go in the A tier. Almost S tier. You know what is S tier, though? Why not in Wobbuffet? I think they're miraculous shinies. I love the, like, pink. I think it fits their personalities perfectly. Love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, the eyes are also different on Tooth Biter. I think those are good shinies. Like I said, A tier. A tier, 100%. Farfetch'd looks very similar. Like, so similar that I'm going to put it in F tier. I know I didn't show it to you yet. I was just annoyed that it's so similar. I wanted to put it immediately in F tier. This is what it looks like. Yay, cool. Surfetch'd is different, though. His body changes to yellow. But I think it looks worse. Like, I think it looks worse than worse. I think it looks so bad that it's E tier. Anyways. Move on to Chinchou, who... You know, I think this one's okay. I think this... I'm torn as to whether or not I like this the same amount as regular Chinchou, or if I like this more. I can't tell if I want to put this in B or C. I'll let y'all decide. I've been doing this pretty... I'm trying to do this quickly, and I'm trying to, like, let myself decide. But as for Chinchou, I'll let y'all decide. How do we feel? I'll put it back up on screen. B or C tier? Part of me wants to go C because it looks so similar, but you said B tier, so we'll go B tier. And you know what? That kind of makes sense. B tier kind of works because I want to put Lantern, its evolution, in A tier because I like it so much. So it makes sense that the two evolutions are so close together. It works. As for our Poison Frog friends, Croagunk, I really like these shinies. I think the shiny version of Croagunk actually exemplifies its Poison Frog nature better than its regular colors. For that reason, I actually am going to put it in S tier. Because I just really, really like the way it looks. And its evolution, Toxicroak, I'll put it in A tier, I guess. I don't like Toxicroak. I think he's ugly. But again, the colors are nice, so I'll put it in A tier. As for Scrafty, Scrafty looks almost the same, just a darker color of orange, which really annoys me. I hate when shinies are like that. So he's going immediately down into F tier. Scrafty, on the other hand, is a different color. He's green. But I don't think it works. I don't think this works. I can't explain why. I just think it's because green and orange, they clash. They kind of butt heads here in this Pokemon design. So, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I'm putting it in A tier. As for Stunfisk, nothing changes except for the color of the like footprints or whatever these are supposed to be on its back. They change from green to orange, and that's it. And honestly, I don't care about Stunfisk. Maybe it's just me, and because I don't care about Stunfisk, I wouldn't notice it's a shiny if you showed it to me. So I'm putting it in F tier. Maybe I'm being too critical. Maybe I just hate Stunfisk too much, but it's in F tier. As for Shuckle, I think Shuckle's shiny is kind of nice. And I like Shuckle a lot. I'm going to put my biases aside against the color blue. I know I hate the color blue, but I'm going to put my biases aside, and I'm actually going to put Shuckle pretty high on the shiny list because I really, really like it. I'm not going to put it in S tier. If it like went from red to purple or red to green, it would be S tier, but because it goes from red to blue, I'll put it in like A tier. Looking at it would not be hard to tell the difference. Maybe for you, but I'm blind. So that's why I put Scraggy in F tier. Especially if you're looking side by side. But I feel like for someone like me who's very impatient and very blind, again, if I'm looking at, like, if I'm battling hundreds of Scraggy over and over and over again, I'm not gonna notice when I find a shiny. And that's something else I'm taking into account. Like, I'm using this list to determine which shinies I should hunt in the future. And I'm not gonna want to hunt a Scraggy because it's very likely I'll accidentally kill one because I won't notice it's a shiny. Like, that's a real fear I have because it's so similar. Anyways, Barboach just changes from blue to yellow. 2 colors I don't like. I kind of don't like it. It looks weird. Never been a fan of Barboach. But I will recognize the fact that at least it changes colors. So I'll keep it in E tier. Instead of putting it all the way down in F tier, I'll put it in E tier. There you go. As for Whiscash, the yellow underbelly and yellow W on its head turn like pink. Pinkish orange. Oh, and the whiskers turn pinkish orange. Which I guess is better than Barboach. But still not great, so it's gonna go in D tier. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Don't know how I feel about that. Oops, sorry. I already put it on screen, but I'll show you the big version of Shellos real quick. Shellos shiny, it just looks faded. I don't like that. So that's an F tier for me. And Gastrodon shiny, I don't even need to show you it in the big screen. You can just see it in the small screen. It looks faded as well. Wimpod. Wimpod actually has an okay shiny, which surprised me. I think it looks better than regular Wimpod. Which is weird. Wimpod I always kind of associated with like the silverfish from Minecraft, but it's shiny. It doesn't look bad. Because I don't like it, like Wimpod, it creeps me out. I'm only gonna put it in B tier. If it didn't creep me out, it would maybe go in A tier. But yeah, Wimpod, okay. However, this shiny is disappointing because almost nothing changes except for the antenna, the mouth, and like the triangles on its body. Which for me is not enough. Not enough of the shiny changes. Yeah, I'm looking at it again. It's just not enough changes. Like, it's so little of this shiny changes. I almost want to put it in F tier. Like, I almost want to put it in F tier. Because it's so little. Like, if you took a surface area of all of the Pokemon, it's maybe 12% of the Pokemon changes. So, for that reason, I think that's probably an F tier. It's so little. With Shellos and Gastrodon, they have different forms. Yeah, I know they have different forms, but I feel like both shinies are disappointing, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. Anyways, we move on to Binacle, whose shiny looks very vibrant, which I can appreciate, but this Pokemon always creeps me out. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. It gives me the creeps. So, it's a good shiny, but it's a bad Pokemon. So those two facts kind of balance out to a C tier. Same with its evolution. I'm not even going to show it in the big picture. I'm just going to put it in the C tier. Corsola has a good shiny. It's an inverse shiny, which I liked with Wooloo, but it's less obvious with Corsola. So I think this might be another C tier. Thankfully, though, its evolution, it's a lot more obvious. And I think its evolution, for me, might be something we really want to shiny hunt soon. Like, I might shiny hunt this sooner rather than later. Oh, I'll show you in the big screen as well, sorry. God dang it. Go big screen. God dang it, it's not opening. Give me a second. This evolution is so cool. I really like it. So while Corsola is not that great of a shiny, I think Cursola is S tier. I like that a lot. That might be worth it. That might be worth shiny hunting in the future. Uh, we move on to kind of a fan favorite shiny, which is Impidimp. A lot of people like Impidimp in general, and then a lot of people also like Impidimp shiny. I'm not a big fan because I don't like the color blue, but I can still recognize that it's a good shiny, so I'll put it in A tier. Same with its evolution. I recognize that it's a good shiny. I also like the purple pants, like the purple legs, because I like the color purple. So again, I'll put it in A tier. Not bad. Its final evolution, though, Grimmsnarl, is all white and purple. That is a lot more up my alley. And this final evolution, I can start to agree a bit more with the Pokemon community. And I can agree it's an S tier. So I'll put it in S tier. That I'll agree with the Pokemon community in. Hatna is our next Pokemon. And Hatna Shiny isn't super different, but I also kind of like it. So I'm going to break my own rules a little bit here. I think the Galar Corsola is Shield exclusive. Oh, that's kind of disappointing, because that was one I wanted to shiny hunt. What a bummer. This is one I'm going to break my rules a little bit on, because I've been super critical of Pokemon whose shinies aren't different. But Hatna's, they don't change a lot of colors, but the colors they do change, they are altered in a way that work, and they work beautifully. So, I'm not going to give it S tier, because that would be, like, I feel like that would be breaking the rules too much, but I'm going to put it in C tier. I don't want to break my rules too much, but I'm going to break my rules a little bit for Hatna, and I'll put it in C tier. As for Hattrem, again, the colors aren't changed too much. I feel like it's kind of the same as the last example. It's going to go in C tier. The colors aren't changed too much, but they're changed enough where I really like it and I think it works. And then actually the last evolution, Hatterene, I don't like it as much as the last two. I think it's going to go a tier below. I think we're going to put this in D tier. Don't like it as much as normal Hatterene. I think the colors are a little bit worse than normal. Anyways, Salandit. Salandit, I don't know if I like this. I don't think I like this. I don't think I like this. This gives me creepy vibes. I don't think I like this. I don't want to look at that anymore. That gave me creepy vibes. Something about that creeped me out. I can't explain it. Something about that creeped me out. I have a feeling I'm gonna get the same. Yep, I'm getting the same vibe with its evolution Salazzle. Something about that just creeps me out. Like the all-white nature of it. It kind of reminds me of the Slenderman. It kind of reminds me of the Slenderman. Why does it remind me of the Slenderman? I don't know why, but it reminds me of the Slenderman. It's going in E tier for Slenderman. Alright. 246, Pawniard. It goes from red to blue, and I really don't like the color blue, but I do like Pawniard as a Pokemon. So I'm not going to be too harsh on it. It's going to go in D tier. Bisharp. Same thing. Goes from red to blue. So I'm going to put it in the same tier. D tier. Throw literally just goes from like red to orange, which is really disappointing. I know it's kind of a color change, but it's such a slight color change. It's not enough. So it's going in F tier. Meanwhile, Sock goes from blue to purple, which is enough of a color change for me to kind of bump that up to like B tier. The difference there is stark. Like, it is a notable difference. Meanwhile, Coughing, this one, I don't know how I feel about this. And we've already been live for 2 hours and we're not even we're only halfway done, I should say, sorry. We've been live for 2 hours and only halfway done, so Because I don't know how I feel about this, I'm indifferent. I'm going to put it in C tier. I don't want to think about it for too long. Weezing, on the other hand, I actually kind of like this more. A little bit. I like it a little bit more. Just a tad more than its default colors. So it's going to go in B tier. As for Bonsly and its evolution Sudowoodo, they both kind of have this similar vibe where they have these like pink leaves. And I really like it. It reminds me of these trees. I can't think of the name of the tree right now. But for a very small portion of time in the year, throughout the year, they have pink leaves. And I think they're so beautiful. It's so cool when I see pictures of them. I've never seen them in real life, but I would love to. So because Bonsly Shiny exemplifies that, I'm going to put Bonsly in A tier. But Sudowoodo, because he kind of looks like a little bit more faded version of that, I'm going to put him in B tier. He looks a little faded. Salandit did kind of look like he had a tie on. So maybe he was a little less creepy. Do we want to go back and move him? I don't know. He's too far down the list now. He's too far down the list of Pokemon. It's been too long. I apologize. We could have moved him up one tier. But he did look like he had a tie on. A little cute, but also a little creepy. Anyways, Cleffa. Cleffa changes from having brown ears to green ears, which isn't a huge change. I also don't even know if I like that change that much. I don't know. I really don't know if I like that change that much. Here's what I'll say. I don't like it that much. But it makes sense more as you go down the line. So I'm going to put Cleffa in the OK tier. Clefairy, though, I like it. I like it. And here's why. Because if you remember, like, Clefairy, like, there's this lore / rumors that Clefairy's an alien. So I kind of like the lime green ears because it almost makes Clefairy feel more like an alien. You know what I mean? It gives Clefairy that alien vibe. So I'm going to bump Clefairy up to a B tier and Clefable up to a B tier for that reason. But Cleffa is going to stay in C tier because I don't really care about Cleffa that much. Togepi. Togepi's where I'm torn. Because the only thing that changes about Togepi is the red triangles on its shell turn blue and the blue triangles turn red. However, because I'm not like a hardcore Pokemon fan, I wouldn't notice that. I wouldn't notice that. So like, I don't know where I should rank this because it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of lazy. I don't know. I don't know. Here's how I think I'm going to rank it. I'm going to put Togepi in C tier. Just because I feel indifferent towards it. Like, I think it's kind of cool, but I also don't like it. So, those two opinions balance out to be neutral. I'm going to put Togetic in D tier, because I don't like Togetic that much. And I'm going to put Togekiss in E tier, because I don't like Togekiss that much. I like Togekiss even less than those two Pokemon. That's how we're going to rank that. Moving on to Munchlax, which is just a darker color of blue. And you know how we feel about that. That's an immediate F tier. Yay. Snorlax is the exact same way, by the way. Just a darker color of blue. So immediate F tier. Cottony, I really like. Cottony has a fall theme compared to its original colors, which look summer themed. And I really like how it goes from summer to fall. I like it so much that I'm almost like ready to put it in S tier. What's strange though is its evolution loses that fall theme and just turns blue for some reason. I guess it goes like winter themed? I don't know why though. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I'm gonna put it in C tier because it has a winter theme, which is kind of okay. But I wish it would have stayed on like the fall theming, because the fall theming was cool. Anyways, Rhyhorn turns from stone to like bronze, which I think is S tier. I think that's so cool. And Rhydon turns from stone to like a lesser bronze. Turns to like metal, which is still cool, but not as cool, so I'm gonna put it in A tier. Oh, and yeah, Rhyperior just turns yellow, and I don't like the color yellow, so not that cool. Putting it in E tier. I hate the color yellow, so. We're running out of space, boys. We're running out of space. We're actually running out of space. It's crazy. Gothita barely changes at all. So that kind of makes it an immediate F tier. Gothrita kind of just becomes like a lighter color of black. It almost has a blue tint to its black coloring. But again, barely changes at all, so F tier. And Gothitelle, it's kind of the only one of the three, the only Pokemon in this evolution line that has noticeable changes. It goes from black to blue. But I don't like the color blue, so it's gonna bump up from F tier to E tier, but it's still an E tier. Like, it's still not good. As for Solosis, very, very little changes. At least it's not noticeable to me. So I'm gonna put it in F tier. Maybe I'm just blind, but it's not very noticeable to me. Kind of the same with, you know, Duocean, however you say it. I don't see any changes really. Where I do start to see changes is kind of the same evolution line as last with Gothita, Gothrita, and Gothitelle. I only see noticeable changes in the last one, where things turn blue, similar to Gothitelle, but I don't really like that. So similar to Gothitelle, it's gonna go in E tier with Gothitelle. Anyways. I wonder if we should, Here, we are about 2/3 of the way there. Almost. Or not even. We're almost three-fourths of the way there, sorry. Wonder if we should save this and make a new one. File, save as. Save it as a JPEG. Galar, shiny, Pokemon, tier list 1. Save. Save as JPEG. And let's open a new empty tier list. Oh wait, I need to open... Shoot. Oh, because I already have the open... Oh, because I already have the file open once. I can't open it again. Well, I could, actually. One moment. I know a workaround. Simply. Simple workaround. Just put it here. No? That didn't work either? I'm surprised that didn't work. Okay, well, we'll do it the slow way then. Whatever. We're gonna delete all these Pokemon. Give me a sec. From the list. Don't mind me. I saved the image, so we'll have that. We'll have that in our hearts. I'm just hitting the delete button 200 times now. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Let's move on with Karrablast. So, Karrablast turns from like blue to cyan. And here's my thoughts. I think it gets better, but not by much. So, per definition, I should put it in like B tier, but because it doesn't get that much better and I don't like this Pokemon, we're putting it in C tier. Its evolution, Scavalier, it's kind of in the same boat. Like, it goes from... It gets better, but not by much, and I also don't care about this Pokemon, so we're putting it in C tier. As for Shelmet, its counterpart, I think this one gets worse. But not by much. And its evolution as Selgor is kind of in the same boat. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, these two are almost perfect matches for each other. It's hilarious. Anyways, the shiny for Elgium, however you say its name, only changes the eye color. It's almost unnoticeable. So that's an immediate F tier. And Beheeyem, however you say its stupid name, pretty much in the same boat. Only, hold up, I'm trying to open it in a big image so you guys can see. Only changes his eye color and the color of his fingers. So for that reason, also immediate F tier in my eyes. As for Cubchoo, I love this. I love this, guys. I really do. I really love this. I really love this. Like, I'm trying to think of better words, but I can't. I really love this. I think the only thing stopping this from being an S tier is I wish they would have changed the color of the icicle dripping from his nose. Because they didn't do that, it's an A tier instead of an S tier, but I love it. I love him. Beartic, however, it's a little disappointing. They didn't stick entirely with the purple theming, and he's kind of bluish. So that's a bit of a bummer. I'm gonna put him in B tier for that. I don't know. It's a little disappointing. I don't know. I honestly have never really seen Beartic shiny before, and I obviously saved an image of it. But I guess I wasn't paying attention when I saved the image of it, because I forgot what it looked like. I'm disappointed. Anyways, Rufflet. I think Rufflet's shiny is really good, even though it's brown, and brown is a very boring color. A very dull color. I think it works well on Rufflet, because he's supposed to be like an eagle. And eagles are oftentimes brown. Just any bird of prey is oftentimes brown. So I think it works really well with Rufflet, and Rufflet's also very cute, which works to his favor. So I'm going to put it in A tier. His evolution, Bravery, also kind of has that brown color. But the blue, I don't like blue. So I kind of want to knock Bravery down to A tier. I don't know. Oh, dude. Vullaby? Listen. I can't put it that high because it's just a higher saturated version of its normal colors. They didn't change that much. So I would look hypocritical for putting it high on my tier list. Because this entire live stream I've been talking about, like, I've been talking smack on Pokemon who don't have their colors changed that much. But I really like the higher saturation of Vullaby. Similarly with Mandibuzz. But I think I have an excuse to put Mandibuzz even higher because they did change a lot of her colors. Unlike Vullaby. So, I can put Mandibuzz higher. Because Mandibuzz's colors are higher. I'm going to put Mandibuzz in A tier. I also just like that Pokemon a lot. Scorpy is our first S tier, since we had to refresh the tier list because we ran out of space. Gets changed from blue to red, blue being one of my least favorite colors, red being one of my favorite, so obviously going to be an S tier. Its evolution Drapion, though, a little disappointing, because it goes from purple to kind of like a faded red. So while I would love to put Drapion in S tier with Scorpy, I'm going to put it in A, sadly. Litwick, sorry, meant to put Litwick in the big screen. Litwick's kind of disappointing because the color of Litwick doesn't really change at all. His eye color changes from yellow to green, which is cute. But the flame on his head only changes from blue to, or from purple to blue. Which is almost unnoticeable because those two colors are similar. Like that's so disappointing. So for me, that's an E tier. His evolution Lampent doesn't change the color of the lamp at all. All that changes is his eye color from yellow to blue, and the color of the flame inside from purple to pink. Again, kind of disappointing. Like, makes me sad. Thankfully, though, the first evolution, E tier. Second evolution, E tier. Third evolution is an S tier. Chandelure is such a good shiny. I love it to death. It's gonna be one that we definitely shiny hunt in the future. I mean, I just love it. I love it. I think Chandelure is a great shiny. So that's gonna be one we definitely work on in the future. Anyways, move on to Inkay, which I don't like it. I don't like it. That's all I can say about it. I think it looks like it's sick, but it's still a cutie. So like I can't put it, I don't want to rank it too low because I love Inkay. I think he looks cute. Same with its evolution, man. Malamar looks like it's gonna die soon. Its shiny looks like it's gonna die soon. So like, I'm gonna rank Malamar even lower. That's gonna go E tier. Why does it look sick? Oh, we got a big S tier coming up. Sneasel shiny is an S tier. Sneasel shiny is an S tier. Hands down. Sneasel's got an S tier shiny. That's for sure. And Weavile would be an S tier too if it kept the orangish color on top of its head and such. But instead it goes kind of to like a bright yellow, which I don't like bright yellow too much. So instead, Weavile's gonna be A tier in my heart. Oh, you know what might be an S tier? Sableye. Because it looks like golden. And this Pokemon is supposed to be like a gemstone Pokemon. So the fact that it looks golden, it resembles gold, has always been really cool in my eyes. So Sableye, that's S. That's S. Mawile. Mawile doesn't change too heavily. So all of the yellow you see on Mawile here is the same as its normal colors. But the maroon color is different. And I like that maroon color. I like that maroon color a lot. We're getting a lot of good ones here. This is an A. This refreshed tier list is starting off good. I like this. We have another good one coming up as well. We have Maractus. And I really like this version of Maractus. Like the shiny Maractus is honestly S. Because like my definition of S is like they couldn't have done it better. And I don't think there's a better way they could have done Maractus. Truly. Maybe with red. Maybe with red. But like pink is close enough to red for me to want to give that an S tier. Truthfully. Anyways, Sigilyph. Sigilyph shiny is really good. And it's super different than default Sigilyph. I like it a lot. However, I don't care about Sigilyph. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna put it in B tier. Like, Sigilyph is a Pokemon I could care 0 fucks about. So that's why it's only in B tier. Moving on. Oh, we have Riolu, who's shiny, is gorgeous. I mean, Riolu and Lucario, I feel like these are two that people knew were going to be highly rated. Even though I hate the color yellow, I can still recognize that these are two beautiful shinies. I could put my personal biases aside to recognize that these two shinies are S tier. I mean, Lucario shiny is S tier. I could hate the color yellow all day and still love Lucario shiny. Come on. Come on now. As for Torkoal, it's okay. It's okay. I don't think it's better than regular Torkoal, but I don't think it's worse. So that's the exact definition of C tier. Mimikyu is disappointing because it's barely different than regular Mimikyu. Barely. It goes from yellow to gray. It's different enough that I don't think I'm going to put it in F tier, but it is teetering on the line of F tier. Let me tell you. You know what's not teetering on the line of F tier? Cufant. That just goes from orange to lighter orange. 100% F tier. Same with its evolution. It's just faded. It's a faded color. Your shiny is your regular color, but faded. F tier. I dislike you greatly. As for Corefish, it's kind of cute. It goes from blue to pink. And I can't get over the fact that it's just a spiky pink ball. I love it. I love it a lot. I love it a lot. But then we kind of go back to this bullshit. This BS. Furlish is just a faded color of its regular color. It's the same color, basically. F tier. Same with its evolution. Actually, well, its evolution's different enough where I don't think I can put it in F tier. Actually, its evolution is so different, I'm putting it 2 tiers up to D tier. It's still similar, but it's D tier. Still similar, but D tier. Mareanie shiny I like. Because Marie's always been cool. It's a poison type Pokemon. I like its name. Its name almost implies it's like a female Pokemon in a way. I like the crown on its head. And its shiny is nice because it makes it look even more like a girl. And the crown looks golden. And I like Mareanie shiny. It works. It all works together. And its evolution, Toxapex, kind of has that same vibe, but to a lesser extent. So I'm going to bump it down 1 tier to B tier. As for the next Pokemon, we have Cramorant. I mean, I like this. It's not perfect, but I like this. We can put this in like B tier. It's good. It's good. It's good shiny. Toxel's really fitting. But at the same time, ooh. Toxel only changes from purple to pink, which isn't a big change. I just accidentally deleted the image. My apologies. Toxel changes from purple to pink, which isn't a hefty change, so I'm putting it in C tier. But it's still fitting, and I like it. But that's not a big change. I realistically could be a lot more mean to Toxel there. And I could put it in like D tier or E tier, but I'm not going to. As for Toxtricity, this is a good shiny. I like the shiny. But again, it's not a huge change, so like I'm putting it in C tier. I keep accidentally deleting them. God dang it. Keep deleting the images. Anyways, Silicobra. It looks faded. Kind of. It just looks faded. But at least the colors are different enough. The eye color's different. But it just looks faded. I think that's a bad shiny. Oh, you know what's a little bit better though? It's its evolution, Sandaconda. While Silicobra was faded, Sandaconda takes that a step further and in a better direction and goes full grayscale. It almost goes black and white, which I like. I actually like that. Sandaconda shiny is basically just black and white, which I'm going to bump up to the B tier. I think it's kind of cool. Our next Pokemon is Hippotas, which shiny is just a lighter version of its regular. It looks kind of like a vomit color. I know I've said that a couple times tonight, and I apologize that I keep using that word as a descriptor. But it's true, man. It's true. And for that reason, it's going in the... I'll put it in the D tier because its evolution's going to go in the E tier, and I don't think they should be in the same tier. This is E tier. I don't think they should be in the same tier. I was going to put Hippotas in the E tier, but I don't think it should be in the same tier as its evolution, so it'll go in the D tier. Durant is a weird one because it looks like a pinkish version of its normal self. Like, it looks like someone just took an Instagram filter, like the Instagram pink overlay filter, and put it on regular Durant. It barely looks different. It literally looks like someone just took the Instagram pink overlay filter and just slapped that on regular Durant. I don't know. That's a bad shiny. Ooh, Heatmore is a good one though. Heatmore is a good shiny. I like that a lot. I'm liking that more and more the more I look at it. Like, I was gonna put that in B tier, but I'm thinking we bump that up to A tier. Helioptile, I'm neutral on this one. It's significantly different than how it normally looks, so that's a plus. But I don't know if I like it. At least I don't know if I like it better than how it normally looks. So for that reason, I think it's just a C tier, and I'm gonna say the same thing about its evolution. I think both just fall in the C tier. Hawlucha, I think, has a really good shiny. I think Hawlucha shiny is actually perfect. The colors are swapped perfect, and it fits the kind of, you know, WrestleMania fighter theme it's going for. Especially, like, you know, Latinx fighter theme it's going for. It's got that Latino vibe for sure. Alright, Trapinch is next, I think. Yep. Got my man Trapinch. I like Trapinch and Shiny a pretty good bit. It reminds me of that meme where Trapinch is trying to dress up as Turtwig. So for that reason, I'll bump him up to like a B tier. You know, this is good. He's a good guy. His evolutions though are a little lackluster. Like Vibrava, it looks okay, but it's brown. Like brown's never a color you kind of like ogle over. Brown's never a color people, you know, praise and, you know, cry about. Same with Flygon. Flygon's shiny is cool, but I don't think it's better than normal Flygon. So I'm just gonna put it in C tier, like it's okay. As for Axew, you know, it's okay. It goes from green, just all green, to like brown and pink, which is a weird color combo. But I don't hate it. So I'll put it in the C tier. It's okay. Thankfully, its evolutions get a little bit better. Like, this looks okay. This looks a little bit better. That looks at least B tier worthy. And its final evolution, Haxorus, looks mean. That looks menacing, dog. I'd argue that's even S tier. I think that's S tier at least. That looks menacing, bro. Anyways, we move on to Yamask, which I think it looks worse than regular Yamask, personally, by just a little bit. Like, this could be C tier if I was feeling nice, but I'm not feeling that nice. Especially when its evolution looks like this. Like, you both belong in the D tier, I'm sorry. You're just kind of weird. I mean, this whole evolution line's just kind of D tier in my opinion. I'm not big into, like, you know, Egyptian lore, mythology, the whole coffin stuff. It's like all three of these aren't Pokemon that I'm fans of. I don't really care about these Pokemon that much, and I don't really like their shinies that much. So they're all D tier. They're not terrible, but I'm not going to give them that much leeway. I'm not going to give them that much love. Anyways, we have an S tier coming up. You want to see what it is? It's Honedge. It's Honedge. I love Honedge. I think Honedge's shiny is so good looking, bro. Honedge looks beautiful. I love the like blood-stained sword vibe. Doublade, same thing. I absolutely adore it. The only evolution of Honedge that I think isn't an S tier is Aegislash, because most of the sword is covered by the shield, and the shield's kind of disappointing, or at least lackluster. So Aegislash is kind of like a B tier in my heart. What is this? I'm listening to a lo-fi playlist. Why was that like rock music or whatever? It was weird. Whatever. Moving on. Honedge, that whole evolution line, love it. We've got Ponyta next, which Ponyta's shiny is it's very pretty. I like the cream color with the light blue. I think it's nice. I don't know where I want to put it though. I'm torn between B tier and A tier. Oh, welcome back, Drac. Since you can get both Yamask and Galar region, you should have both Yamask in the tier list. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about the other form of Yamask. I was just going down the... Dude, this song sucks. I've had to skip 2 songs in a row now. Relax, Spotify. Give me good music, please. Anyways, I kind of forgot about the other version of Yamask. I was just going down the list of the Galar Pokedex in Cerebi's website, so I copied all the images from there. Apologies. I'm torn between B tier and A tier. How you feeling, Drac? How do we feel about Ponyta? B tier or A tier with shiny Ponyta? I'm probably going to put Rapidash in the same tier. Rapidash will end up in the same tier as Ponyta. B or A, I'm just not sure. Not sure. Oh, you think it's S? Okay. The only reason I'm not putting it in S is I don't like the color blue. But if you say S, I'll put it in A tier. Okay. Respect. Respect. We'll put them in A tier. Anyways, moving on from that, we have Sinistea, which I think looks probably the best it could be. But there's one thing that holds this back from being an S tier, in my opinion, that I'm just now realizing. I was gonna immediately put it in S tier. I was just gonna jump the gun and put it in S tier, but I realized they did not change the color of the like ghost inside of the teacup, and they could have changed the color of the ghost inside the teacup. They only changed the color of the teacup, which feels a little lazy to me. Just a little lazy. But I still really like the shiny. I don't know. They also didn't change the color of the rim of the teacup or the bottom of the teacup. Alright, I don't know. Maybe this is an A tier. Sinistea might be an A tier. And Poltegeist, which has always just kind of been a creepy Pokemon to me. I don't like the way it looks. Kind of creeps me out. Because of that, is going to go one tier below it in B tier. Perfect for a tea party. You're not wrong about that one, brother. Anyways, we move on to Indeedee, which is kind of a terrible example of a shiny, for my personal preferences at least, because it goes from purple, a color I really like, to blue, a color I really hate. So for that reason, it goes down to the E tier. Anyways, on to Phantom. I really like Phantom. I think the shiny looks gorgeous. Truly, like, I think this is amazing. Amazing shiny. So, I might be maybe getting too hyped with Phantom, but it's an S tier. And its evolution is also an S tier for me. Well, actually, I don't like its evolution as much, because it loses its cuteness, so maybe we'll put it in A. We'll put it in A. I kind of feel the same way about this next duo, where, like, Morlul, its shiny is spot on. Spot on. Because what I love about Morlul shiny is it works on a real-world sense, where, like, the mushrooms look like mushrooms you would see in the real world. And it's cute and adorable, and I love it. So for that reason, Morlul shiny is an S tier. Like, it's shiny almost adds more lull. Did I say lull? I meant to say lore, sorry. More lull, more lore. I'm getting the words mixed up. Its shiny adds more lore to it. And, like, the mushrooms look like they would in the real world. But then its evolution loses the cuteness of it. Yes, the mushroom on its head still looks like a real-world mushroom, but I don't really like its evolution. So it goes down a tier in my heart. To A tier. You know? Anyways. Oranguru is a weird shiny because nothing about it changes other than, you see the pink fur here? That's normally white. But this green fan is the same color, the purple fur is the same color, the gray hands are the same color. Like, disappointed. Disappointed. But at the same time, I feel like it looks better as a shiny. I feel like the white turning to pink makes it look better. I don't know. Putting it in D tier because I'm disappointed. This shiny also disappoints me, but for a different reason. I wish they would have made the color of the ball just a darker brown so it would look like a basketball. So I wish it would look just a little bit more like a basketball. That would be so funny to me. That would be so funny to me if it looked more like a basketball. I feel like that's just a missed opportunity. Just a missed opportunity, if you ask me. Otherwise, the shiny is pretty good. I like it. I think it's good. I'll put it in B tier. Why not? Why not? Morpeko, however, which is our next shiny we're looking at, disappoints me greatly. The yellow just turns to white. However, the brown on the left side of it and the black on the right side of it is the exact same. The pink cheeks are the exact same. And honestly, I think the white looks worse than the yellow. So we're putting that in U tier. Oh, you want to know what another worse shiny? I accidentally opened it as an image, but the Lynx. I'm gonna be as polite as I can with this. I'm trying not to be gross when I say this, but it looks like actual shit. I'm putting it at F for that reason. I think Drampa's kind of a disappointment as well, because I liked his cyan color. Then they make him brown, and brown is just such a sad color. He just looks old and dying. He looks old and decaying in this color. I'm putting him in the worst here. Another kind of worse Pokemon is Turtonator. I think going from red to brown here just makes him look worse. And I also kind of dislike this Pokemon because trying to catch him took me so long when doing the living dex. So I have a low-key hatred towards him. So I would normally put him in D tier, but because I have a low-key hatred towards him, he's going in E tier. Sorry, not sorry. Anyways, I don't know how to say this one's name. It's like Toga Demaru. I have no clue. But he almost changes in no way at all. For that reason, yes, I understand that the gray color turns to like a tan color. I don't care. It's F tier because he barely changes. I don't care. Snom makes me sad because his shiny feels confused. Snom's shiny feels very confused. Why is it like greenish yellow? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Snom's shiny doesn't make sense. At all. Putting it in D tier because I'm perplexed. But its evolution, Frostmoth, that I like. That one I like. It's not much different. I like it a lot, but it also doesn't look heavily different. So to avoid being seen as a hypocrite, I'm going to keep it in C tier. But I do like it. Anyways, we got 50 left to go. Clobbopus. This is a great shiny. This is a good shiny. Very good shiny. B tier. And its evolution, Grapplocked, is our first S tier in quite a while. I think this shiny is perfect. Looks amazing. Pinchorin, dude, this shiny is awesome. They made Pinchorin look so much better, and they didn't have to change much about it, which is really nice. Really, really nice. I like that a lot. They changed very little, but they made it look good. They changed the purple body to black and the yellow mouth to orange, but great improvement. Shiny Snom would look better if it looked more like Chandelure shiny. You're not wrong. Anyways, Mantike goes from blue to cyan, which is an improvement, but it's not a big change. So, like, it leaves me confused. Like, do I put it in F tier for not being a big change, or do I put it in, like, B tier for being an improvement? I think I put it in, like, D tier, in the middle, for being better, but not very different. And Mantine is barely different, and I don't even think it's that better. So Mantine's going 1 tier below it in E tier. Oh, you know what though? Wailmer. We got ourselves another S tier with Wailmer. Let me tell you. Wailmer and Wailord, those are some S tiers. I love me a shiny Wailmer. That's spot on. But you know what? I don't understand. Why is he yellow? It looks dumb. It looks dumb. I'm having a roller coaster of emotions right now because we go from an S tier to like an easy E tier with Bergmite. This is an easy E tier. I thought the stream was going to be fun, but instead it's just making like my emotions go all over the place. That's just the pee in the snow. Honestly, that's what it... I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to be gross. Ugh. Anyways. Delmise. I think I said this on the stream when we were looking for him. But his shiny would have been an S tier for me if it was just a little bit more blood red. I wanted the blood of 1,000 sailors on him. And instead, it's only like the blood of 2 sailors. The red color is a little faded, so he's an A tier. Lapras has a nice shiny. I like the purple color. But at the same time, I don't know if I like purple Lapras more than just a blue Lapras. Like, because blue Lapras fits. It makes sense, because it matches the color of the water. Do I really want a purple Lapras? Yes, of course I do. But not enough to, like, bump it into the S tier. Maybe A tier. Lunatone. His shiny only changes the color of his eye. I think that's dumb, especially when the color of his eye becomes blue. And I hate the color blue. F tier. Conversely, Solrock goes from being orange to like a blood red sun, which I think is dope. I think it's dope. However, because it only changes one of its colors, but it doesn't change the color of its, you know, pointy sun symbols, I can't make it an S tier. I wanted to make this an S tier when I saved the image to my computer, but the more I've thought about it, it doesn't change enough to make it an S tier. However, I think the Blood Sun is so cool. I think Solrock is a cool shiny. Mime Jr. looks weird. Mime Jr. looks weird. But I do like that they changed a lot about him. And I like the color green. So that balances out to a C tier. Just putting him in the middle. Meanwhile, Mr. Mime barely changes at all. Like, he turns purple, so he changes enough where I can't put him in the F tier. Like, I can't complain about it. But he barely changes at all. So I'm putting him in E tier. Mr. Rhyme, on the other hand, changes a little bit more. Like, the color of his cane changes, which is kind of nice. The color of his shoes change. I like this one a little bit more. Here's what I'm going to do. Mime Jr. is going down. And Mr. Rhyme is going up. Lunator Shiny would be better if it was Blood Red or Smurf Blue. Imagine. That's funny. Darumaka annoys me because the only thing that changes is his fingertip color and the color in between his eyes. I don't like it. It's not enough. Oh, and I guess also the color kind of changes here. Alright, I was going to put him in F tier, but instead I'll put him here. I'll be nice. Actually, no. He's going down here. He's going down here, and he's going to go down there with his evolution, because I think his evolution's ugly. Ooh, Stonejourner is kind of a cool shiny, because he's an inverse shiny. But at the same time... No, that's S tier. I think this is an S tier shiny. Inverse shinies are really cool in my opinion, where the colors are just flipped. I was gonna say it's kind of lazy, but also like, I shouldn't say that. Like, I gave Wooloo an S tier for the same reason, and I didn't call Wooloo lazy, so I shouldn't call Stonejourner lazy. That wouldn't be fair. SQ's pink. SQ's just pink. I think it's cute. It's a good kind of lazy. You're right. I agree. SQ's pink, and I think that's worthy of B tier. Duraludon is gray. He goes from white to gray, which is surprisingly disappointing for such a cool Pokemon. Like, I didn't think I'd be putting Duraludon in E tier, but he's going in E tier. The only thing, honestly, I would be willing to put him in F tier if he wasn't so cool. That's sad. That's so sad. Ratom's pretty cool. Ratom's pretty cool, but I don't know if I like it better than regular Ratom is the thing. Kind of the crazy thing about that. I think I do, just because it is a little bit better. It fits more. Those colors blend together better. Shiny Ditto is kind of weird looking. It just looks unnatural. But I'll admit, it's cool. So I'll put it in C tier. And now we have our fossil Pokemon. Got Dracozolt, which is kind of nice. Dracozolt's not terrible. You know what's funny about these fossil Pokemon? I don't want to spoil it, but I think Dracozolt's kind of like a... Dracozolt's kind of like an A tier. This was unplanned, by the way. I'm just noticing this as it's going. But like Dracozolt, A tier. I think Dracovish, or sorry, Arctozolt is maybe maybe I'm being too nice here. I think Dracozolt is maybe a B tier. Dude, these all kind of suck now that I'm looking at them. That's what I was gonna say, is, you know what's kind of funny? These all kind of suck. But like, Dracozolt is the only good one. I was also gonna say, it's kind of funny, these get worse and worse in like order of the Pokedex. It's like in order of Pokedex number, they get worse and worse. Like Arctozolt, this is kind of a disappointing shiny, but at least it has some redeeming qualities. So I was gonna put it in C tier. But the next one, which I'll show you in a second, is Dracovish. This shiny does not look good in my opinion. This looks so much worse than the regular. Ditto like to play Minecraft. It just got into the blue dye. This shiny looks so much worse than regular. I'm putting this in E tier, I think. And then Arctivish also looks pretty bad. Pretty bad. I'm putting this in E tier as well. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of funny that they're all so bad and they all just get worse and worse and worse. All the fossil Pokemon. Oh my god. What also is kind of sad is that Charmander's shiny is disappointing. So disappointing. The only thing that saves him from going into the F tier is the fact that he's Charmander. Because he's Charmander, he goes into the D tier. Same with Charmeleon. Thankfully, our boy Charizard has one of the best shinies in Pokemon history, which makes him an immediate S tier. Charizard, immediate S tier. As for type Null, this shiny is barely different. Barely different. And you don't have the appeal of Charmander. You don't have the cuteness. You don't have the, you know, the nostalgia. You have none of that saving you from the F tier. AKA, you're going into the F tier type Null. Sorry, not sorry. Oh my gosh. How about Sylvaney? Sylvaney looks a little bit different, but barely. He just looks more yellow, and I hate the color yellow. You know what? I'm feeling mean today. Join your evolution partner type Null in the F tier. Type Null has the nice hat, that's true, but even though I like Type Null as a Pokemon, his shiny is F tier. How about Larvitar? His shiny is just super saturated. Oh my god. Alright. Well, because I like you, Larvitar, you're gonna go in the E tier, but you could have been F tier. That's barely different. Barely different. Pupitar is a little different. He goes from blue to purple. So I can bump that up to like D tier. And then Tyranitar, that's pretty ugly. That's very ugly. Right back down to E tier. Jesus. Alright. Almost done with this list. Dano. I like it a lot actually, because I don't like the color blue, which is how Dano normally looks. So the fact that he changes to green, one of my favorite colors, that's a thumbs up from your boy. That's a thumbs up. Honestly, I like it so much, I'll put it in S tier. Same with his evolution, as well as that's another S tier. And I mean, there's no surprise here. Hydreigon, that's also going to be an S tier. The purple helps a lot too, because I love the color purple. The purple makes it look even better. Hydreigon would be like S plus if there was an S plus tier. Anyways, on to Gumi. I feel like Gumi looks slightly worse than normal. Like, than how his normal colors are. Especially with the yellow. The yellow not look good on him. Okay. I have a feeling his evolutions are gonna also not be that great. Yeah, not really. Not really. I mean, Goodra, at least, if we open this picture of Goodra, Goodra has the benefit of looking nice. Like, it's a good-looking Pokemon. So maybe we can put Goodra in the C tier. Simply due to the benefit of being a good-looking Pokemon, but that's it. It's the only reason why. Same with Changmo, or however you pronounce its name. I feel like this just looks worse than default. What? These look worse than its normal Pokemon colors. This looks worse than its normal colors. Why would I want to shiny hunt this? Shiny Sliggoo kind of looks like an alien, but I'm not into aliens that much. It's not one of my like interests or, you know, fantasies. Yeah, I don't like this, I'll be honest. I'm putting all 3 of these evolution line Pokemon, all 3 Pokemon from this evolution line in the D tier. And now we move on to Dreepy, which is one I might get a little bit of slack for, but I don't like it that much. Mostly because it changes to the color blue. I don't like the color blue. And also because it doesn't even change half the colors on Dreepy, which feels a little lazy to me. I know a lot of people like shiny Dreepy, but I don't. I'm going to go as far as to bump him down to E tier. Same with his evolutions. They change colors. The colors they do change, they change to blue and yellow. And they don't even change half the colors. So they don't change half the colors, and then the colors they do change, they change to blue. I don't like the color blue, so Dreepy's kind of a bit of a bummer for me. Dragapult changes to blue and yellow. It's like, it's a bummer. It's a bit of a bummer. Finally, we have the 3 legendaries, which we cannot get shinies of. But I do like to at least look at them and fantasize, you know, what could be. Zacian shiny, I'm probably going to end up putting in the C tier because I don't like the color blue, but I do like how it's all blue, so it fits the theme. It fits that palette, at least. So, Zacian, we'll put the C tier. Zamazenta, I like a lot. This one's probably going in A tier because the pink and red go together really well, and I really like the color red. So like this just looks beautiful. Even though I'm not a big fan of Zamazenta, I prefer Zacian of the 2 legendaries. As far as the 2 shiny legendaries are concerned, I like Zamazenta more. And then finally, Eternatus looks mean, bro. The orange, the purple, the red, it all goes together so well. The, you know, low-key pink in there. I mean, that's S. That's S hands down. I love it. Hey, and just like that, we got our tier list done, boys. I can save that image. Save as Galar shiny tier list 2. Beautiful. Oh, I don't mean to save it as a Photoshop file. JPEG, please. Thank you. Okay. So now if we open that other one, Galar shiny Pokemon tier list 1. Okay. Let's close this so we can have them as the same size. I'll have to turn off my face cam for a little bit, but that's not a big deal. Okay. Or we can just make monitor 1 fit to screen. I'll turn off my face cam. That would be the easier way to fix this. I want to make sure everything looks as good as possible here. Okay. Turn off my face cam so we can just end the stream here quickly. But for the first, 2/3 of the stream, we spent time trying to fit as many Pokemon onto the tier list as possible, but I quickly realized that wasn't going to be possible. At least not possible to fit every single Pokemon on the tier list. So we now have 2 separate tier lists that we can use, both just as fun images for the future, but more importantly as data for what Pokemon we want to shiny hunt in future streams. So it's very likely that when we stream Pokemon Sword in the future, we are going to shiny hunt Pokemon from the S tier and the A tier of these lists. And I'll tell you right now, hint hint, wink wink, I think the first Pokemon I want to shiny hunt is either going to be, if I had to pick one from this list, maybe Honedge, or if I had to pick one from the bigger list, probably Roselia. Roselia is one that's been on my mind for a while, and it's one we've been talking about on stream often. We've talked about that a lot. So, yeah. I never plan on, doing a shiny living dex, because one, I'm way too busy, and two, there are just too many Pokemon that I hate. They're shinies. Pokemon here at the bottom of the list, at the F and E level. I think their shinies are dumb and a wasted potential. Sadly. Not that I hate those Pokemon, but I hate those Pokemon shinies. Sadly. But there are Pokemon that I really, really want to shiny hunt at the top of the list here. And hopefully we can get those shinies caught here in the future. So I will be referring back to this list as time goes on and as we continue to shiny hunt. And 3, not all shinies can be caught for a living dex. That's a good point. But yeah, I will be referring back to this list as we start shiny hunting in the future. And yeah, there are some good ones that I'm already thinking about shiny hunting. Like I said, Roselia is on my mind. I would love a Ninetales because it's my favorite Pokemon. Like, obviously, hands down, Ninetales is at the top of that list. Applin is a really cool shiny. So those are a couple ideas I'm just throwing out there. If I look at this list, I mean, Scorpy is a cute one. Chandelure, we talked about this stream a lot. Like I said, Honedge, that's a dope shiny. So a lot of cool ideas. Anyways, thank you for joining me. This was a nice long stream. It took me a lot longer than I expected, which is why we're just going to end the stream with this. I was planning on playing a game or doing something else today, but because this took so long, I'm probably just going to end the stream with this, and the tier list is going to be the only thing we do today, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I'm more than happy with that. Tomorrow, I'll be back with Among Us. We'll play a little bit of Among Us tomorrow, and that'll be my last stream before I move out. And then I will see you all at the new place. I'll have a new location, a new background. Thank you for joining me. I wish you all a good night, and see y'all later. Peace.